Ladies, gentlemen, our opening section will now begin. Please be seated. 女士们、先生们，我们今天的开幕式正式开始，请大家就座，谢谢合作。Good morning, ladies, gentlemen. My name is Vinci, and I'm pleased to be your MC for today. Welcome to the Belt and Road Summit 2025, jointly organized by the government of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China and the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, supported by the Office of the Commissioner of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China and the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. Before we start, let's take a look at a short video on Collaborate for Change, Shape a Shared Future. Under the theme, Collaborate for Change, Shape a Shared Future, our summit comprises high-level plenary sections, a series of thematic breakout forums addressing practical issues, investment and deal-making sections, as well as exhibition to showcase opportunities from around the world. The summit will feature more than 90 senior officials and business leaders from countries and regions along and beyond the Belt and Road. They will share their insights from a wide range of perspectives, such as policy making, forging commercial partnership, facilitating cross-border cooperation to people-to-people connections. To kickstart our opening for today's summit, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Professor Frederick Ma, Chairman of the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, to deliver the welcome remarks for us. 女士们、先生们，让我们恭请香港贸易发展局主席马时亨教授为我们致欢迎词。热烈的掌声欢迎马主席。
Chief Executive, the Honorable John Lee, Deputy Prime Minister Mr. Sun, Director Chow, Vice Minister Yan, Vice Chairman Lee, Deputy Secretary General Shao, and Commissioner Choi, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the Belt and Road Summit organized by the Hong Kong SAR government and Hong Kong Trade Development Council. We are proud to celebrate the 10th edition this year. The summit has become a cornerstone event supporting the Belt and Road Initiative. Over the past decade, it has been gathering key voices in government and business from across the Belt and Road and beyond for dialogue and collaboration. Vital partnerships have been forged, impactful projects have been launched, and cross-border ties have been strengthened. And this year is no different. Collaboration opportunities once again take center stage. The projects at this 10th edition are significant and far-reaching. I hope you will take this time to learn more about them and lend them your support and expertise. The need to forge strong partnership is greater than ever. Through partnerships, we can combine our strengths and leverage our resources. We can help businesses and industry grow. And we can together create solutions to global challenges and set the pace for our future, for the benefits of us all. With that in mind, the theme of this year's summit is Collaborate for Change, Shape a Shared Future. We will discuss how we can strengthen collaboration to build a more innovative and greener Belt and Road. With this strength and advantages and its dual role as a super connector and super value adder, Hong Kong is well positioned to unlock possibilities across the world. Opportunities in the emerging market of ASEAN and the Middle East will once again be a focus at this year's event. Alongside vibrant discussions on fast-growing markets in Central Asia, Africa, and beyond, the summit features project investment sessions to turn ideas into action. Projects cover multiple sectors, including energy and natural resources, urban development, transport and logistics, and innovation and technology. Experts will share their views across thematic sessions, including on green development, capital market connectivity, risk mitigation, and more. A new session with young business leaders this year will explore their strategies for success. In closing, I would like to thank our sponsors and partners for making this event possible. At the heart of this summit is the spirit of collaboration and opportunity. I invite all of you to build a new connections and lasting partnerships for a brighter future for all of us. Enjoy the conference and thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause to thank Professor Ma for the welcome remarks. Please be seated. 再次我们以最热烈的掌声感谢马主席为我们致欢迎词。As mentioned by our chairman, Professor Frederick Ma, the theme for this year's summit is Collaborate for Change, Shape a Shared Future. With this theme, it emphasizes the importance for forging strong partnerships is greater than before. So together, let's collaborate and work together for a greener Belt and Road that benefits for us all. May we now invite the Honorable John Casey Lee, the Chief Executive of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China, onto the stage to deliver the opening remarks for us. 女士们、先生们，以最热烈的掌声恭迎中华人民共和国香港特别行政区行政长官李家超先生为我们致开幕词，有请行政长官。
Honorable Director Zhao Ji, Secretary Feng Fei, Vice Minister Yan Dong, Vice Chairman Li Zheng, Deputy Secretary General Sa Weiming, Commissioner Cui Jianchun, Professor Frederick Ma, officials and friends from around the world, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Hong Kong and the 10th Belt and Road Summit. Let me first extend a warm welcome to His Excellency Deputy Prime Minister Sun Chen-tho of Cambodia, His Excellency Minister Santipep Phomphihanh from Laos, His Excellency Minister Anthony Look from Malaysia, His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Sayed from Qatar, as well as many senior officials and distinguished leaders from Belt and Road countries here for this anniversary summit. As the Chinese saying goes, 有朋自远方来，不亦乐乎? What a joy to have friends coming from afar. So many friends, I'm delighted to say. This 10th anniversary edition of Hong Kong's Belt and Road Summit brings together more than 6,000 high-profile leaders and participants from governments, international organizations, companies, and the global media, here to celebrate a decade of achievements. I'd say that's proof collaboration works, and that this annual summit delivers. Since 2016, Hong Kong's Belt and Road Summit has united governments, businesses, peoples, and cultures in collaboration for change, for rewarding opportunities. Over the past 10 years, more than 45,000 people from over 120 countries and regions have participated in the summit. Together, they have presented over 2,800 projects along the Belt and Road, shaping a shared vision through collaboration and connectivity, which are the fundamental values of the Belt and Road Initiative. Upholding that spirit, this year's summit theme is Collaborate for Change, Shape a Shared Future. To mark this 10th edition, we are introducing a new session on signature Belt and Road projects. It will be complemented by project investment sessions on energy, natural resources, public utilities, and urban development, including Hong Kong's northern metropolis, which takes up 1/3 of Hong Kong's geographical area and is fast rising as an innovation and technology hub. Later this morning, we will witness the exchange of 9 MOUs and cooperation agreements between Hong Kong and Belt and Road countries on official cooperation in dispute avoidance and resolution, customs, anti-corruption, meteorology, investment promotion, and more. These underline our commitment to Belt and Road, to enabling cooperation and exchanges for mutual benefit. Also today, some 36 business-to-business agreements and deals will be announced, covering finance, technology, logistics, professional services, and education. Thanks to projects and deals closed in recent days, their total value is now close to $1 billion. And that's just the beginning of another decade of business, of investment, and of cooperation. Here in Hong Kong, when we talk business, we mean business. Hong Kong has long thrived as a free port dedicated to multilateralism. The Hong Kong SAR government is rapidly expanding Hong Kong's global trade networks. We have signed free trade agreements with 14 Belt and Road countries and investment agreements with about 20 Belt and Road economies, as well as comprehensive double taxation agreements with 37 Belt and Road jurisdictions. Not surprisingly, our external trade with Belt and Road countries exceeded $276 billion last year, up about 80% since 2013, and 3 times the average growth rate of Hong Kong's overall merchandise trade over the same period. Some 1,400 companies from Belt and Road countries have established a base in Hong Kong to seize these opportunities. It helps that Hong Kong is one of the most prolific sources of foreign direct investment in the Belt and Road. In 2023, our outward direct investment in Belt and Road countries and regions was $133 billion. That's 3.6 times of the amount in 2013 and 4 times that of Hong Kong's overall outward direct investment growth, a clear sign that global capital converges here and deploys globally. We invest as well as connect. The Hong Kong Monetary Authority established the Belt and Road Hong Kong Flagship Impact Fund with the Silk Road Fund Company, an initial capital totaling $1 billion. Last year, our monetary authority signed an MOU with Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund on a joint $1 billion fund. They will invest in companies with a Hong Kong nexus expanding to Saudi Arabia. Last week, the Development Bank of Kazakhstan issued a 2 billion renminbi dim sum bond in Hong Kong, the first renminbi bond issued by a government-owned entity from Central Asia. That underscores Hong Kong's position as a leading fundraising hub for Belt and Road economies. That's why more than 100 Belt and Road companies are listed on the Hong Kong Exchange, with more to come. And I believe it is important to reach out to our Belt and Road partners in person to let them know what Hong Kong can do for them, for you, whether in key events like this one or in visiting these countries. Since assuming office 3 years ago, I have visited 12 Belt and Road countries. To most of them, I have led high-level business delegations from Hong Kong, witnessing some 160 MOUs, cooperation agreements, and deliverables with the respective economies, many now in development. Just this May, I led a joint delegation of mainland and Hong Kong companies to explore the markets of Qatar and Kuwait, my second visit to the Middle East region. Alongside numerous agreements reached during the trip, I'm pleased to note that one of the participants has chosen Hong Kong as its global hub and listed Hong Kong Exchange just last month. I also witnessed an MOU less than 2 weeks ago between Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Investment and our Belt and Road office, part of its new signature project collaborations working directly with governments. Major Belt and Road projects and events are turning to Hong Kong for global road shows. They include the Future Investment Initiative Priority Summit in 2023, the recent Saudi Super Cup, and LEAP, one of the Middle East's largest tech expos, which chose Hong Kong for its first global edition, LEAP East, to be held next year. To support development in the Global South, we continue to expand our worldwide network of trade officers across partner countries. Our Hong Kong Economic and Trade Officers, Invest Hong Kong, and the Hong Kong Trade Development Council work together to connect businesses and projects via Hong Kong. Through these networks, our government ties now extend to some 130 countries, including about 100 Belt and Road countries. To a world of investors, especially our friends from Belt and Road economies, Hong Kong offers a unique blend of professionalism and efficiency. Hong Kong has long shown as a resourceful and resilient economy, one of the world's most competitive in many sectors and industries we commit to. That's once again borne out just 3 months ago when the International Institute for Management Development put out its 2025 World Competitiveness Yearbook. Hong Kong placed third globally, up 2 places from last year. In government efficiency and business efficiency, Hong Kong rose to second overall. And we topped the rankings in tax policy and business legislation. Competitiveness is in Hong Kong's DNA. And central to that competitiveness is our people and our ability in nurturing them. In the IMD's annual World Talent Ranking, which came out just yesterday, Hong Kong rose to 4th globally, up from 9th place last year and 16th place the year before. Moving up 12 places in 2 years, we have come to our highest ever standing in the report ranking #1 in Asia. Overall, Hong Kong topped the ranking in the percentage of graduates in sciences and placed among the global top 5 in the availability of finance skills, the remuneration of management, and the effectiveness of management education. Hong Kong's performance, the IMD report said, demonstrates that targeted reforms and investment can result in significant gains in talent competitiveness over time. Noting that Hong Kong attracts large numbers of inbound students from abroad through our outstanding academic achievement, indeed, Hong Kong is home to 5 of the world's top 100 universities, which cultivate multi-talented and enterprising young people from our dynamic city. And Hong Kong is committed to nurturing future generations from home and abroad. With the Hong Kong as our government's Belt and Road Scholarship and other program, more than 4,000 students from Belt and Road countries are enrolled in our tertiary programs every year. This summer, some 400 students from Belt and Road countries were placed in summer internships here, strengthening our shared Belt and Road talent pool. Our targeted reforms on talent cover not only grooming our own but also attracting a world of professionals to our world city. Since the end of 2022, our enhanced talent admission schemes have received more than 520,000 applications, with over 350,000 approved. More than 230,000 have arrived in Hong Kong over the period, boosting our talent pool and economic growth. And of course, Hong Kong also opened its doors wide to travelers who come to our city for business, leisure, and more. Last year, Hong Kong welcomed more than 44 million visitors, fourth globally for visitors' arrivals by city, winning the world's best airport Immigration Service Award. Our international airport is the world's busiest air cargo hub, handling 4.9 million tons of goods and about 45% of Hong Kong's external trade last year. With the 3-1-rate system now in operation, we expect up to 120 million passengers and 10 million tons of cargo annually in about 10 years' time, with the enhanced capacity to support social and economic growth across Belt and Road countries. We have signed 80 bilateral civil aviation agreements and operate flights to some 60 Belt and Road destinations, strengthening our role along the Air Silk Road. Hong Kong is committed to growth. We are also dedicated to sustainability, to ensuring a healthy development for all. As a green and sustainable innovation and finance hub, Hong Kong is working with Belt and Road partners to build a green and innovative Silk Road. We provide internationally recognized green building certification with the flexibility to help countries adapt standards and access green finance. And for 7 consecutive years, Hong Kong has ranked first in Asia in the volume of green and sustainable bonds arranged. Hong Kong's success as a premier functional platform for the Belt and Road rests on our unique one country, two systems framework. It allows Hong Kong to maintain a common law jurisdiction with a sophisticated legal sector and a judiciary that exercises its powers independently, providing the safeguards that investors and projects demand. In May, government representatives of over 30 states, many of them from the Belt and Road, gathered in Hong Kong to sign the Convention on the establishment of the International Organization for Mediation. The organization will be headquartered here in Hong Kong as the world's first intergovernmental legal body dedicated to resolving international disputes through mediation. The one country, two systems principle ensures that Hong Kong thrives as an East-West center for international cultural exchange. With programs like the Asia Plus Festival, which begins next week, we present myriad events showcasing the richness of Asia and Belt and Road regions. And the Hong Kong Palace Museum, which houses treasures from Beijing's Forbidden City, is now hosting masterpieces from Qatar's Museum of Islamic Art, Doha. In 2 months' time, it will also showcase extraordinary collections from 7 prominent museums in Egypt. That's just a taste of the cultural exchange, the creative dialogue that Hong Kong delivers. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Hong Kong is the ideal Belt and Road hub. As the only world city that converges both the China advantage and the global advantage, Hong Kong stands as the premier gateway for cooperation, bridging people, trade, business, education, culture, and values across the region, connecting Asia and the world. We are a superconnector, and super value adder for high-quality collaborations worldwide. Our dual superpower of connecting and value-adding means Hong Kong is more than a link between capital and projects. We also inject vigor, innovation, and sustainability, adding strategic value to everything we do. Hong Kong will continue to drive high-quality development along the Belt and Road. That's our promise towards a brighter future, together with you. My thanks to our Commerce and Economic Development Bureau, the Belt and Road Office, and the Hong Kong Trade Development Council for making this summit such a flagship international event over the past decade. And I'm confident for many decades to come. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all a rewarding summit and a memorable stay in Hong Kong. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, the Chief Executive, for the opening remarks. 谢谢行政长官为我们致开幕词，谢谢您，请回座。As mentioned by the Chief Executive, what a joy. It's our tremendous honor to welcome many esteemed guests who are also our dear friends to the 10th edition of the Belt and Road Summit. Definitely to celebrate a decade of achievements with all of us. Now, please join me in welcoming Mr. Yan Dong, Vice Minister of Ministry of Commerce of the People's Republic of China, onto the stage to deliver his special address. 现在我们有请中华人民共和国商务部副部长燕东先生为我们发表特别致辞，有请燕副部长。
尊敬的李家超行政长官，尊敬的周记主任、马生主席，各位嘉宾、女士们、先生们、朋友们，大家上午好！非常高兴参加香港第10届“一带一路”高峰论坛。受王文涛部长的委托，我谨代表商务部对论坛的举办表示热烈祝贺。向出席论坛的各位嘉宾表示诚挚的问候。2013年，习近平主席提出共建“一带一路”倡议，在各方共同努力下，共建“一带一路”不断走深走实，取得了重大成就，搭建了世界上范围最广、规模最大的国际合作平台。其中，“一带一路”经贸合作取得丰硕成果，有力促进了互利共赢，为推动开放型世界经济建设和构建人类命运共同体做出了积极贡献。一是贸易投资不断深化。2024年，我们与共建“一带一路”国家的货物贸易额达到3.1万亿美元，占整体贸易的比重已超过一半。双向直接投资约为670亿美元，各国之间的产供链联系更加的紧密。二是项目建设落地见效，我们在共建国家承包工程完成营业额年均超过1350亿美元，建设了一大批标志性工程和小而美的民生项目，提升了共建国家的基础设施水平，带动了当地经济社会发展，受到了广泛的欢迎和好评。三是新兴领域稳步拓展，我们与50多个共建国家签署了绿色发展、数字经济和蓝色经济领域投资合作备忘录，丝路电商伙伴国增加到36个。 绿色基建、清洁能源等领域务实合作蓬勃开展，助力全球绿色低碳发展，共享数字经济发展成就。四是沟通交流愈发密切，我们用好进博会、服贸会等各类展会，以及贸易畅通工作组、投资合作工作组等工作机制，与共建国家加强经贸交流、沟通对接，打造开放包容的合作平台，实现了硬联通、软联通、新联通齐头并进。近年来，商务部与香港特区政府密切协作，充分发挥政府和业界多层次合作机制的作用，全力支持香港参与共建“一带一路”。去年以来，我们共同组织两地企业联合走出去，赴共建国家开展贸易投资促进活动，实现优势互补，共拓海外市场，支持香港企业参与第7届进博会等国家重要展会，为香港开拓国内和国际市场搭建务实交流的合作平台。女士们、先生们、朋友们，去年12月，习近平主席在第4次“一带一路”建设工作座谈会上发表了重要讲话，对当前及今后一个时期工作做出了全面部署，为下一个金色10年推动构建“一带一路”高质量发展提供了重要遵循，指引了前进方向。商务部将深入贯彻习近平主席重要讲话精神，与各方一道持续深化“一带一路”经贸合作，继续支持香港在高质量共建“一带一路”中发挥自身优势，实现互利共赢。一是支持香港深度联通内外，更好融入共建“一带一路”。我们将落实好今年3月起实施的关于修订 CEPA 服务贸易协议的协议2，进一步扩大内地对香港金融、电信、建筑、旅游等领域开放，对接国际高标准经贸规则，研究推动内地、香港、澳门3地共建单一自贸区，支持香港对外商签更多的自贸协定和投资协定，尽早加入 RCEP， 进一步拓展对外经贸网络。二是支持香港打造功能平台，更好服务共建“一带一路”。我们将支持香港巩固提升国际金融、航运、贸易中心地位，在“一带一路”设施联通、贸易畅通、资金融通等方面发挥桥梁纽带的作用，扩大与共建国家贸易投资规模，支持香港广泛参加各类经贸展会和论坛，与共建国家各界增进交流，推进产供链国际合作。三是支持香港对接项目建设，更好参与共建“一带一路”。我们将持续做强联合走出去这个品牌，组织香港和内地企业走进更多的共建国家，商谈具体合作，推动各施所长，打造高质量务实合作项目，引导香港企业通过法律服务、商事仲裁、金融保险、设计咨询等多种方式，为对外投资、承包工程等项目提供高水平专业服务。女士们、先生们、朋友们，香港“一带一路”高峰论坛已举办了10届，成为各方参与共建“一带一路”的重要平台。期待各位嘉宾深入交流， 共商合作，为推动共建“一带一路”高质量发展贡献更多力量。最后，预祝本次论坛取得圆满成功。谢谢大家。
谢谢燕副部长的特别致辞。Thank you, Vice Minister Yan, for the special address. In Vice Minister Yan's speech, he highlights the importance of the Belt and Road and the tremendous opportunities that it possesses. Definitely thanks to Ministry of Commerce for the continuous support towards the summit. Now, may we invite Mr. Li Zhen, Vice Chairman of the State-Owned Asset Supervision and Administration Commission of the State Council of the People's Republic of China, onto the stage to deliver his special address. 女士们、先生们，我们有请中华人民共和国国务院国有资产监督管理委员会副主任李振先生发表特别致辞。有请李副主任。
尊敬的李家超行政长官、周济主任、马思亨主席、各位嘉宾、女士们、先生们、朋友们，上午好！很高兴与大家相聚在香港，共同见证第10届“一带一路”高峰论坛的启幕。受张玉卓主任委托，我仅代表国务院国资委对论坛的召开表示热烈祝贺，向长期以来关心支持中国中央企业改革和发展的各界朋友表示衷心感谢。共建“一带一路”倡议历经12载辛勤耕耘，已成为构建人类命运共同体的重要实践平台。9月1日，习近平主席在天津主持上海合作组织家会议时提出全球治理倡议，引发国际社会强烈反响与共鸣，为各国携手构建人类命运共同体注入新的澎湃动力，也为推荐共建“一带一路”高质量发展行稳致远指明了前进方向。国资央企积极顺应时代潮流，把握发展大势，始终在共建“一带一路”中勇当排头兵、先行者。12年来，我们坚持战略引领，打造合作标杆。截止2024年底，中央企业已累计在180多个国家和地区布局项目和机构1万多个，境外资产总额9.6万亿元，投资或参与建设港口、铁路、机场等重大基础设施200余个，建成中老铁路等标志性工程，运营比雷 F4港等示范项目，为共建国家基础设施互联互通、产业升级、更好融入全球经济做出重要贡献。12年来，我们坚持互利共赢，深化协同发展。中央企业立足数字转型、绿色发展等领域发展经验，积极参与共建国家特高压、5G 通信、新能源等技术合作，主导发起编制国际标准超过100项，推动中国技术理念与实践的国际分享，以最务实管用的方式助力各国提升自主发展能力。12年来，我们坚持责任担当，传递中国温度。中央企业在共建国家建设医院、学校、净水设施等民生项目，开展技能培训、职业教育等合作，直接带动项目所在地100万员工就业，有力推动了 共建国家经济发展和民生改善，让各国获得可感可触的实惠。香港是“一带一路”重要节点，始终以独特优势发挥超级联系人、超级增值人作用。一直以来，中央企业与香港各界保持密切沟通，在金融合作等方面积极探索在港设立财资中心、结算中心和质保公司，助力“一带一路”项目资金保障。在专业服务方面，联合香港法律、会计、咨询等机构，为国际项目提供全周期服务，提升合作效率和风险管控水平。在平台建设方面，建立与特区政府和工商界的专属对接机制，共同深化与全球合作伙伴对话交流。香港既是中央企业走出去的桥头堡，更是全球资源对接中国市场的转换器，必将在“一带一路”高质量发展中扮演越来越重要的角色。女士们、先生们、朋友们，纵观世界，风云激荡，挑战前所未有。例如香港由治及兴，机遇千载难逢。国之央企愿与香港各界携手共行，在加强内外联通、共谋合作，在融入全球发展中共创未来。在此，我提出4点建议：一是以立体联通致密合作网络，我们将继续携手共建国家，推进铁路、港口、航空等传统基建合作，同步拓展5G、数据中心、智慧城市等新基建协同，持续构建陆海内外联动的立体互联互通网络。期待借助香港3大中心地位，用好专业服务优势，充分发挥新成立的国际调解员作用，为项目顺利落地和行稳致远提供坚强支撑。二是以创新协同激活发展动能，我们将聚焦人工智能、高端制造、新能源、新材料等前沿领域，与共建国家携手打造联合实验室，培育数字经济合作区。期待通过香港链接全球创新网络，吸引国际资本、技术与人才，通过合建中式平台等方式，加速前沿技术从实验室走向产业应用，让新质生产力惠及各国人民。三是以绿色转型共筑可持续未来，我们将与共建国家继续深化低碳技术、清洁能源、生态治理等领域合作，期待依托香港发达的资本市场，为绿色项目提供多元化融资支持，探索建立跨境碳交易合作机制，共同制定绿色项目标准与评估体系，以实际行动为全球可持续发展贡献中国智慧和方案。四是以文化交融架起民心相通之桥，我们将持续深化与共建国家在医疗、教育、减贫等领域合作，实施更多小而美、惠民生项目，期待更多香港青年参与“一带一路”志愿服务，实施计划，借助香港中西合璧的文化基因与国际传播优势，为“一带一路”合作筑牢坚实的民生基础。女士们、先生们、朋友们，大道如砥，行者无疆。共建“一带一路”前景广阔，中央企业与香港合作潜力无限。我们愿以本次论坛为契机，与各方携手并肩，以守正之治筑牢合作根基，以创新之智开拓发展新局，共同谱写高质量共建“一带一路”崭新篇章。最后，预祝论坛圆满成功，谢谢大家。
谢谢，谢谢，谢谢李副主任的特别致辞，请回座。Thank you, Vice Chairman Lee, for this special address. Thank you, Vice Chairman Lee, for giving us advices on the 4 directions for development that enables us to seize new market opportunities across the Belt and Road economies. Last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Xiao Weiming, Deputy Secretary General of the National Development and Reform Commission of the People's Republic of China onto the stage for his special address. 现在我们有请中华人民共和国国家发展和改革委员会副秘书长肖卫明先生发表特别致辞，热烈的掌声欢迎肖副秘书长。
尊敬的李家超行政长官，尊敬的周记主任、建春特派员，尊敬的各位来宾、女士们、先生们、朋友们，很高兴再次参加“一带一路”高峰论坛。首先，我谨代表国家发展改革委和郑三杰主任，代表推进“一带一路”建设工作领导小组办公室，对香港第10届“一带一路”高峰论坛的举办表示热烈祝贺，对各位嘉宾表示诚挚的问候。2013年，面对时代之变、历史之问，中国国家主席习近平开创性地提出了共建“一带一路”倡议。12年来，跨越山海，同声相应，中国的倡议激荡广泛共鸣，书写了国家互利共赢、人民相知相亲、文明互学互鉴的时代华章。共建国家占中国对外贸易的比重已超过一半，中国在共建国家的投资存量达到3700亿美元，中老铁路、亚万高铁、蒙内铁路等一大批标志性的项目建成投运，中欧班列通达欧洲26个国家、229个城市，丝路海运航线通达46个国家和地区的147个港口，鲁班工坊、军草技术、光明行等一批小而美的民生项目生根发芽，绿色、创新、数字等新兴领域的合作方兴未艾。“一带一路”这条同世界共享机遇、共谋发展、共同发荣的阳光大道越走越宽广。今年是香港“一带一路”高峰论坛连续举办的第10年，10年坚守铸就非凡。在这10年中，我们共同见证了香港把握共建“一带一路”历史性机遇，充分发挥金融、航运、贸易中心和创新科技中心作用，与共建国家的贸易投资网络不断织密。国际碳市场、国际调解院等一批专业平台相继设立，实现了自身发展能级和国际竞争力的双提升，在参与铸建共建“一带一路”中更加重要、更有作为、更值得期待。女士们、先生们、朋友们，去年12月，习近平主席出席第4次“一带一路”建设工作座谈会，并发表重要讲话，为当前和今后一个时期推动共建“一带一路”高质量发展指明了前进的方向，也为香港赋予了更大的历史使命。国家发展改革委将认真贯彻落实习主席重要讲话精神，支持香港在推动共建“一带一路”高质量发展中开新局、谋新篇，实现自身更大、更好发展，助力中华民族伟大复兴新征程。借此机会，我想从香港在“一国两制”伟大方针指引下发挥自身独特优势角度提几点考虑和看法。第一，发挥背靠祖国的优势， 加强与内地协调联动，更好融入国家发展大局。我们支持香港积极参与粤港澳大湾区建设，不断提升港珠澳大桥、北深港高铁运营水平，配合做好港深西部铁路、港铁北环线等规划建设，加快建设智慧港口，强化与内地港口的多港联运，有序推进港区通工程、京珠港飞客运项目等，推动深港口岸经济带和香港北部都会区联动发展，切实提高大湾区市场一体化水平。支持香港落实好沪港国际金融中心协同发展行动方案，与上海国际金融中心相互赋能、错位发展，优化沪港金融产品体系、跨境离岸金融服务等，共同提升我国在全球金融体系中的话语权和影响力。支持香港积极参与海南自贸港建设、长江经济带发展、京津冀协同发展等区域重大战略，继续深化京港、闽港、川港等交流合作，推动实现香港研发加内地制造的良性互动，因地制宜发展新质生产力，促进香港经济与内地经济互惠互利，共同发展，共同完成国家重大使命。第二，发挥联通世界的优势，促进硬软新协同发力，更好推进共建“一带一路”高质量发展。香港是外资进入内地、内地企业走向世界的流量枢纽，是国家经济高质量发展的重要战略支点。支持香港与内地企业赴东南亚、中东、中亚等共建国家寻求商机，共谋发展，主动对接国际资金和优质项目，完善海外综合服务体系，不断拓展项目投融资渠道，支撑基础设施高水平硬联通。支持香港充分发挥“一带一路”高峰论坛的资源对接平台作用，拓展“一带一路”经贸合作网络，以一站式高水平国际化的专业服务，为内地和共建国家企业赋能发展，促进规则标准高水平的软联通。支持香港与共建国家在文化、旅游、艺术、教育等领域深化交流合作，扩大青年交流计划的覆盖面和支持力度，打造更多独具魅力的文化名片，拉紧与共建国家的新联通。女士们、先生们、朋友们，今年上半年中国经济稳中有进，好于预期，高质量发展取得新成效。无论外部风云如何变化，中国经济发展长期向好的大趋势没有变，也不会变。祖国好，香港一定好；香港好，祖国会更好。希望香港持续闪耀东方支柱的璀璨光彩，为金色10年共建“一带一路”高质量发展增添更强动力，为中华民族伟大复兴新征程做出更大贡献。最后，预祝本届论坛圆满成功，谢谢大家。
谢谢肖凤敏署长的特别致辞，请回座。Thank you, Deputy Secretary General Xiao. Deputy Secretary General Xiao reaffirms that with Hong Kong's unique positioning and capacities, Hong Kong serves as a bridge for policy dialogue and investment across the Belt and Road economies. With our inspiring and also informative welcome remarks, opening remarks, and special addresses, this sets the stage for our upcoming keynote address. Ladies and gentlemen, this year we are very honored to have the keynote address to be delivered by His Excellency Sun Chatul, Deputy Prime Minister, First Vice Chairman of the Council for the Development of Cambodia at our summit. Please give a round of applause to welcome His Excellency Sun Chatul for his keynote address. Deputy Prime Minister Sun, please.
Honorable John Lee, Chief Executive of Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, Professor Frederick Ma, Chairman of Hong Kong Trade Development Council, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's a great honor to join you here in Hong Kong at the Belt and Road Summit. I thank the government of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region and the Hong Kong Trade Development Council for their kind invitation and their leadership in promoting collaboration across our region and beyond. This year's theme, Collaborate for Change, Shape a Shared Future, could not be more timely. The world today is being reshaped by shifting supply chains, the drive for cleaner and smarter growth, the digital revolution, and the urgent need for sustainability. No single country can navigate these challenges alone. We succeed only by working together. Cambodia's own story is one of the transformation through partnership. Only a generation ago, we were scarred by conflict. Today, Cambodia is one of the Southeast Asia's fastest growing economies, averaging over 7% growth in recent decades, and we are moving with confidence toward becoming an upper middle income country by 2030 and high income country by 2050. What explains the transformation? Peace and stability, openness, visionary leadership, and above all, collaboration with partners near and far to build the infrastructure and institutions that power long-term prosperity. Cambodia has been cooperating closely with the Belt and Road Initiative introduced by President Xi Jinping. For Cambodia, the Belt and Road Initiative is not a debt trap, and I repeat, it's not a debt trap, as some critics have suggested. On the contrary, it is a lifeline for our social economic development. It has provided the resources and partnership we need to build the foundation for growth, our infrastructure. Road, bridges, airport, power plants, and canals are not burdens. They are engines of opportunity. Over the past decade, Cambodia has achieved remarkable progress with support from China under the BRI framework. Together, we have built more than 3,000 kilometers of national road and 16 major bridges. These projects connect farmers to markets, link rural communities with cities, and reduce travel times that once hindered trade mobility. For millions of Cambodians, they have transformed daily life. Beyond roads and bridges, several landmark projects stand out. The Phnom Penh-Siem Reap Expressway, Cambodia's first modern expressway, has cut travel time from 5 hours to just 2. This has already boosted tourism, reduced logistic costs, and enhanced Cambodia's role as a regional trade hub. The Siem Reap Angkor International Airport, another milestone under the BRI, is one of the largest and most modern in the region. It serves not only a gateway for tourism of millions of visitors to Angkor Wat, but also as a driver of economic growth, jobs, and cultural exchange. Looking ahead, the Funan-Techo Canal promises to be a transformative project for Cambodia's economy. Once completed, this canal will connect the Mekong River system to the sea, reduce shipping distance and costs, and open new horizons for trade. It is a strategic and historic investment in Cambodia's long-term future. Most excitingly, yesterday, Cambodia began operation of the new Techo International Airport, making a major milestone in our national development. This modern Class 4F airport replaces Phnom Penh International Airport, which closed on September 8, 2025. Techo International Airport will prepare to handle 13 million passengers in its first phase, scaling up to 30 million and eventually 50 million passengers per year. It showcases green design, high capacity, and stellar acoustics, reflecting Cambodia's vision for sustainable world-class infrastructure. The project was developed by Overseas Cambodian Investment Corporation, OCIC, designed by renowned British architect Foster and Partners, built by leading Chinese and European construction companies, equipped with advanced systems from global suppliers. It is operated by Cambodia Airport, a subsidiary of Fran Vanchi Group, Vanchi Airport. This state-of-the-art airport represents a powerful example of how collaboration, East and West, North and South, can deliver infrastructure that benefits all. In 2023, Cambodia launched the first comprehensive intermodal transport and logistics master plan 2023-2033 that called for an investment of $36.6 billion to implement 174 projects. I urge investors, bankers to look into investing and funding these projects. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, these are not abstract achievements. They touch the lives of ordinary Cambodians every day. They allow farmers to bring produce to Phnom Penh more quickly. They allow young students to access education opportunity in our capital. They allow businesses to connect with regional and global market more efficiently. This is why we reject the narrative that the BRI is a burden. For Cambodia, it is a development springboard and investment in our people, our economy, our future. Infrastructure is not only a national necessity, it is also a global imperative. In today's interconnected world, no country can develop in isolation. The roads, bridges, ports, power plant, and digital highways we build today are the foundation for tomorrow's prosperity. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in 2024, Cambodia's economy expanded by 6%, driven by strong manufacturing, agriculture, construction, and services. In the medium term, our economy is estimated to grow at an average of 6%, reflecting rising investor confidence and robust trade. In 2024, the Council for the Development of Cambodia approved 414 investment projects worth $6.9 billion, a 40% increase compared with 2023. In the first 8 months of this year, Cambodia approved 491 investment projects worth $7.2 billion. We are confident that around 600 projects will be approved in 2025, a 45% increase compared with the same period last year. These projects are expected to generate more than 400,000 jobs for our citizens. Exports continue to rise, supported by regional and global markets. In 2024, exports from Cambodia reached $26.6 billion, an increase of 13.6% compared with 2023. These numbers reflect growing investor confidence in Cambodia's pro-business environment. 100% foreign ownership, competitive tax incentives, a dollarized economy, and a fast-track approval through the Council for the Development of Cambodia, which provides investors with clear decision on projects within just 20 working days. Cambodia Vision 2050 put people and sustainability at the center of our development. We are diversifying into high-value industry, from electronics to electrical, to automotives, to renewable energy and digital services. We are training our young population, with 60% under the age of 35, to be tomorrow innovators and leaders. We are strengthening governance and transparency to ensure that growth is fair and inclusive. Green development is central to our vision, and we are investing in clean energy, smart logistics, and digital connectivity to make our economy more competitive and sustainable. 60% of our power generation comes from renewable energy, and will reach 70% by 2030. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Cambodia is also contributing to the wider region. As the current coordinating country for ASEAN, United States dialogue relation, we are committed to fostering dialogues and cooperation between major partners. We see our role not only as a beneficiary of integration, but also as a contributor to regional stability, connectivity, and resilience. Through ASEAN and the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, ASEP, Cambodia is helping to advance trade integration, diversify supply chains, and build a foundation of long-term growth. We believe that ASEAN centrality, together with Belt and Road cooperation, offers powerful pathway to share prosperity for 600 million people in ASEAN and 2.3 billion in our region. For Cambodia, growth must be people-centered. We are empowering women entrepreneurs and supporting small and medium-sized enterprises, which form the backbone of our economy. We are investing in education and vocational training so that our youth can seize opportunity in a rapidly changing world. And we are ensuring that rural communities share the benefits of development so that no one is left behind. This is the spirit we bring to ASEAN, to ASEP, and to the Belt and Road. Collaboration without exclusion, partnership without division, and Hong Kong as an international finance and professional services hub will be vital in turning these projects into bankable opportunities. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Cambodia's journey from war-torn past to resilient present and ambitious future is living proof that, to borrow from the title of this year's theme, collaboration changes nation and share future. If we look ahead, let us ensure that our partnership deliver not only profit but also peace, not only growth but also inclusion, not only connectivity but also sustainability. In Cambodia, we have a saying, one pillar cannot support a house. Just as a home needs many support, so too does our shared future. As we look to the future, let us embrace the wisdom of the Chinese saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Together, by investing in people, sustainability, and innovation, we can go far, building resilience and prosperity for generations to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Prime Minister Sun. Please be seated. If we want to go fast, go alone. But if we want to go far, let's go together. Thank you so much, Deputy Prime Minister Sun. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, this marks the end of the opening section, but please remain seated for our upcoming MOU exchange ceremony. The Belt and Road Summit has all along been a primary platform for cultivating new partnerships and recognizing the value of collaborations. Today, we are very delighted to announce the successful conclusion of 9 government-to-government Memorandum of Understanding in the areas of anti-corruption cooperation, mutual recognition of the authorized economic operator programs of Hong Kong and Qatar, direct investment promotion, media cooperation, meteorology, supervision and exchange of information of cross-border investment activities. These MOUs spotlight the flourishing collaborations being forged along the Belt and Road. May we now invite the Honorable John K.C. Lee, the Chief Executive of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China, to come onto the stage to witness the exchanges ceremony of the MOUs. The Chief Executive, please. Our first MOU is on strengthening collaboration, communication, and cooperation on issues relating to dispute avoidance and resolution between the Department of Justice of Hong Kong SAR and the Ministry of Law and Justice of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. May we now invite Mr. Lam Ching Kwok Paul, Secretary for Justice, and Mr. Rajaneem Akbar, Federal Secretary of the Ministry of Law and Justice, to come onto the stage. Mr. Lam and Mr. Raja, please. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to welcome Mr. Lim and Mr. Raja onto the stage. Let's take a photo together with the MOU on hand. Please look at official photographer right in front of you. Congratulations on the cooperation. A round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Lim and Mr. Raja. Please be seated. Would the Chief Executive please continue to remain on stage for our next MOU? Our second MOU is on enhancing cooperation to strengthen market connectivity and financial capacity between the Financial Services Development Council of Hong Kong SAR and the Indonesia Financial Group of the Republic of Indonesia. May we now invite Mr. Hui Ching Yu Christopher, Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasury, Dr. Au King Lun, Executive Director of Financial Services Development Council, CG Yul Addison, Consul General of Indonesia to Hong Kong, and Dr. Ibrahim Khalilu Rohman, Head of Indonesia Financial Group Progress, to come onto the stage. A round of applause to welcome them. Please have the MOU on hand and look at official photographers right in front of you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to congratulate on the successful cooperation. Thank you, Mr. Hun, Dr. Au, CG, and Dr. Rohman. Please be seated. May the Chief Executive please continue to remain on stage for the next MOU. Our third MOU is on anti-corruption cooperation between the Independent Commission Against Corruption of Hong Kong SAR and the Integrity Authority of Hungary. May we now invite Mr. Wu Yingming, Commissioner of the Independent Commission Against Corruption, and Mr. Franche Bao Billo, President of the Integrity Authority, to come onto stage together. Mr. Wu and Mr. Billo, please. May our important guests on stage please look at official photographer right at the center of the hall in front of you to capture this important moment. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to congratulate the successful anti-corruption cooperation. Thank you, Mr. Wu and Mr. Billo. Please be seated. Would the Chief Executive continue to remain on stage for the next MOU? Our fourth MOU is on facilitating trade and enhancing customs cooperation between the Customs and Excise Department of Hong Kong SAR and the General Authority of Customs in the State of Qatar. May we now invite Mr. Chan Si-Tad, Commissioner of Customs and Excise, Mr. Ng Chun-Hua, Assistant Commissioner, Excise and Strategic Support, Her Excellency Seiji Shihanura Khalifa Al-Fani, Counsel General of the State of Qatar in Hong Kong, and Mr. Talal Al-Shaibi, Assistant Chairman for Customs Affairs, to come onto the stage together. Congratulations! Please look at official photographer right in front of you to capture this moment. Congratulations on the cooperation! Thank you, Mr. Chan, Mr. Ng, CG, and Mr. Talal. Please be seated. May the Chief Executive please remain on stage for our next MOU. Our fifth MOU is on meteorological cooperation between the Hong Kong Observatory of Hong Kong SAR and Ministry of Water Resources and Meteorology of the Kingdom of Cambodia. May we now invite Dr. Chan Pak Wai, Director of the Hong Kong Observatory, and His Excellency Dr. Ern Chanta, Undersecretary of State of the Ministry of Water Resources and Meteorology, to come onto the stage together. Welcome! Please look at official photographer right in front of you. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to congratulate on the successful cooperation. Thank you, Dr. Chan and Dr. Ern. Please be seated. Would the Chief Executive please continue to remain on stage for the next MOU? Our sixth MOU is on investment promotion and business cooperation between the Hong Kong Trade Development Council of Hong Kong SAR and Invest Oman of the Sultanate of Oman. May we now invite Ms. Margaret Fong, Executive Director of the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, and Ms. Ulay Al-Shulaimani, Head of Business Development of Invest Oman, to come onto the stage together. Welcome! May we now invite the Chief Executive, Ms. Fong, and Ms. Sulaimani. Please look at official photographer right in front of you to capture this important collaboration moment. Congratulations on the successful cooperation. May Ms. Fong please be seated. The Chief Executive and Ms. Sulaimani please remain on stage for the next MOU. Our seventh MOU is on promoting inward and outward investment in Oman and Hong Kong between Invest Hong Kong of Hong Kong SAR and Invest Oman of the Sultanate of Oman. May we now invite Ms. Lau Hai Soon Alpha, Director General of Investment Promotion, to come onto the stage. Welcome, Ms. Lau. May Ms. Lau, Ms. Sulaimani, and definitely the Chief Executive please look at official photographer right in front of you. Congratulations on the cooperation. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Lau and Ms. Sulaimani. Please be seated. Would the Chief Executive please continue to remain on stage for the next MOU? Our 8th MOU is on exchange of information for cooperation on supervision of cross-border investment management activity between the Securities and Futures Commission of Hong Kong and the Abu Dhabi Global Market Financial Services Regulatory Authority of the United Arab Emirates. May we now invite Dr. Wong Tin Yao Calvin, Chairman of the Securities and Futures Commission, Ms. Leung Fung Yi Julia, Chief Executive Officer of the Securities and Futures Commission, Mr. Emmanuel Gavanix, Chief Executive Officer of Financial Services Regulatory Authority of Abu Dhabi Global Market, Mr. Philip Richard, Executive Director International Affairs of Financial Services Regulatory Authority of Abu Dhabi Global Market to come onto the stage together. Please look at official photographers. Let's stand closer to each other and capture this important moment forever. Once again, congratulations on the successful cooperation. Thank you, Mr. Gavanix and Mr. Richard. Please be seated. Would the Chief Executive, Dr. Wong and Ms. Leung, please remain on stage for the last MOU. The 9th MOU, which is also the last MOU, it's on mutual cooperation and exchange of information on supervision of cross-border investment management activity between the Securities and Futures Commission of Hong Kong and the Abu Dhabi Financial Services Authority of the United Arab Emirates. May we now invite Mr. Mark Stewart, Chief Executive of Dubai Financial Services Authority of Dubai International Financial Center, to come onto the stage. A round of applause to welcome Mr. Stewart. Please look at our official cameras right in front of you to capture this moment. Congratulations on the successful cooperation, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause. Would the Chief Executive, Dr. Wong, Ms. Leung, and Mr. Stewart please kindly join us off stage right here. Thank you to the Chief Executive and everyone here today for witnessing these important moments with us together. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Executive has to be excused owing to other engagements. A round of applause once again to thank the Chief Executive for joining us this morning. 行政长官李家超先生因其他公务需要先行离开。在此，女士们、先生们，请以最热烈的掌声再次感谢行政长官出席我们今天早上的开幕式，谢谢。Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated while our honorable guests are leaving the hall now. 女士们、先生们，请继续就座，让我们的主礼嘉宾先行离场，谢谢。Esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, this marks the end of the MOU exchange ceremony. Our next section, Policy Dialogue, Embracing Emerging Opportunities in Times of Economic Uncertainty, will begin shortly. Please remain seated and please join us for the upcoming section, as we are very honored to have invited several ministerial officials to share their views with us. 女士们、先生们，我们下一个环节政策对话环节，预变求新，共创未来即将开始，请大家敬请期待，谢谢。Before we start our next section, please do allow me to introduce you to some of the highlights of the 10th edition of the Belt and Road Summit. Under the theme, Collaborate for Change, Shape a Shared Future, our summit comprises high-level plenary sections, a series of thematic breakout forums addressing practical issues, project investment, and deal-making sections, as well as exhibition to showcase opportunities from around the world. The summit will feature more than 90 senior officials and business leaders from countries and regions along and beyond the Belt and Road. They will share their insights from a wide range of perspectives, such as policy making, forging business partnership, facilitating cross-border cooperation to people-to-people connections. Themes for this year's summit's various sections are built on last year's themes by once again echoing the 8 major steps advocated by President Xi Jinping while deepening the discussions to support cooperation on the Belt and Road Initiative. The sections addressed areas such as legal solutions, the Green Silk Road, capital market connectivity, resilient risk management, and global connectivity, while also highlighting opportunities for youth and startups. This year's summit continues to feature Finance Chapter and Green Chapter. The Finance Chapter includes a series of thematic sections showcasing Hong Kong's various financial services advantages, while the Green Chapter focuses on green development and innovation. The Youth Chapter will be joined by a panel of star young business leaders and startups from Hong Kong, mainland, and ASEAN to share insights on how to explore and seize Belt and Road opportunities. This year, networking will be arranged right after the section to facilitate exchanges among youth leaders and our audience. If you're interested in investment opportunities related to infrastructure and other developments, the project investment sections given by project owners along the Belt and Road route showcasing their project ventures will be a perfect platform for you. The sections consist of 4 major themes, namely 1. Energy, natural resources, and public utilities. 2. Transport and logistics infrastructure. 3. Innovation and technology. And 4. Urban development. This year, we will also host a section introducing the Belt and Road signature projects, along with another section dedicated to projects in the Middle East and ASEAN regions. We are pleased to share that a full program of projects is scheduled at Hall 5E in the Project Investment Room. If you're interested in discovering more, we warmly invite you to join us and explore these exciting opportunities in greater details. Join us for valuable opportunities in deal-making, a platform for investors to seek lucrative opportunities, project owners to secure funding, and service providers to showcase your offerings. The deal-making platform provides one-to-one business matching meetings, allowing summer participants to meet with potential business partners around the globe based on shared interests. To learn more about this exceptional opportunity, please avail yourself to the deal-making counter located in Hall 5E. We will also be extending the platform for you from 15th to 16th of September. You may scan the QR code on the screen now to register and connect with investors or project owners and explore promising investment opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, the policy dialogue will be conducted in English. Simultaneous interpretation in Putonghua will be provided. You can tune to Channel 2 for Putonghua. If you do not have a SI headset yet, please get one from the SI counter near the room entrance. 女士们、先生们，我们政策多元化将会以英语进行。现场观众的部分座位上已经备有同声传译耳机，频道2是普通话。如果阁下没有同声传译耳机，请到门口附近的服务柜台领取。As a courtesy to all our speakers and other participants, please kindly switch your mobile phones or any electronic devices to silent mode during the section. Thank you for your cooperation. Last but not the least, we would love to hear your comments and thoughts. So please kindly share your valuable feedback with us by scanning the QR code shown on the screen now to complete a questionnaire. Ladies, gentlemen, please be seated as the policy dialogue embracing emerging opportunities in times of economic uncertainty will now begin. Esteemed guests, ladies, gentlemen, welcome to the policy dialogue embracing emerging opportunities in times of economic uncertainty. This section will be chaired by the Honorable Algernon Yao, JP, Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development of the Government of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to first welcome Secretary Yao onto the stage. Next, we would also like to welcome the following guests to join us on stage. They are YB Anthony Luke, Minister of Transport of Malaysia, His Excellency Dr. Ahmad Muhammad Al Sayed, Minister of State for Foreign Trade Affairs of Qatar, Mr. Gerlan Sagrayev, Vice Minister of National Economy of Republic of Kazakhstan, Mr. Umid Abedhadраев, PhD, Deputy Minister of Economy and Finance of Uzbekistan, and Mr. Khalid Al-Hataf, Chief Executive Officer of Saudi Investment Promotion Authority. Welcome, everyone! May our speakers and panel chair please be seated. 女士们、先生们，我们接下来的政策对话立马开始，请大家就坐。Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start our policy dialogue now. Now, please be seated. And without further ado, I would like to officially pass the floor and the time to our panel chair, Secretary Yao. The floor is now yours.
Good morning, everyone. This morning, I have the great honor having 5 heavyweight guests together with us to share with us their insights about the current economic development and opportunities. So, dear ministers, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. A warm welcome to this session of the summit. It is an honor for us to have 5 panelists from various countries to share with us their insights on the emerging opportunities in times of economic uncertainty. The global economy today faces unprecedented uncertainty. Geopolitical tensions have increasingly been changing business rules and redefining relations between countries and regions. Financial and monetary volatility make long-term investment planning exceptionally difficult. Supply chain disruptions could halt production globally. And there's no relentless pace of technological disruptions, demanding business to invest in new technologies to maintain their competitiveness. But there's always a silver lining. The rapid evolution of technology, global consensus to a greener environment, and the emergence of new forms of economic integration are creating unprecedented avenues for growth. For instance, green economy demands innovation and more sustainable way of production. Digitalization offers superior tool in transforming production, servicing logistic operation. We all need fast and collective response, prioritize cooperation over competition. In the context, the Belt and Road Initiative provides a readily available platform for international cooperation. One of the key strengths of the initiative is its emphasis on infrastructure development, thereby facilitating trade and economic integration. It also generates investment, job creation, and improvements in living standards. Enterprises in particular are reaping the benefits of enhanced market access and reduce trade barriers, enabling them to expand their horizons and reach new customers. And before we enter into the interaction session, may I invite the panelists to share with us their insight on how their country is embracing the emerging opportunities in times of economic uncertainty. They will be given around 5 minutes in this first round of remarks. So may I introduce our first panelist beside me, His Excellency Mr. Anthony Lok Siu Fook, Minister of Transportation of Malaysia. Minister Lok, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Very good morning to everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank the Hong Kong government for having me and inviting me to be on this panel and attend the Belt and Road Summit. Malaysia is one of the first countries in Southeast Asia to adopt the Belt and Road Initiative. Belt and Road Initiative is an enabler for economic development because what it provides is an opportunity for developing countries to develop their infrastructure. And when we talk about connectivity, it's all about infrastructure. We need better ports, we need airports, we need river network, we need roads, so that the countries can be connected with each other and trade can flow. So when we talk about Belt and Road Initiative, I share the sentiment by the Deputy Prime Minister of Cambodia earlier. I was always being asked by the media, is Belt and Road a death trap? My simple answer to that is that no one put a gun in your head to accept or to adopt this project. It's a choice of the respective national government whether or not to adopt this initiative, and it's an option for developing countries to adopt BRI as an alternative to develop their countries in terms of their infrastructure. To the critics of BRI, I mean, they did not provide any alternative or any solutions to that. For developing countries, infrastructure is the key in terms of uplifting the socio-economic of the country. Without any infrastructure, without good infrastructure, definitely the economics of that country would not be able to be developed. As far as Malaysia is concerned, one of our flagship Belt and Road initiative, which is being implemented right now, is a construction of a railway link, what we call as East Coast Rail Link in Malaysia, 665 kilometers, connecting the poorer part of the country to the more developed part of the country, to connect ports to the hinterland, so that we can bring industrialization to the hinterland. So this is what we look at as opportunities in terms of uncertainties. Because when we want to increase our productivity, you still need the access and the connectivity to export your products to the rest of the world. So in terms of economic uncertainty today, what we need is to encourage more trade, inter-trade within the continent, within the region. As far as ASEAN is concerned, what we want to achieve is to have more inter-trade within the ASEAN region, and of course, ASEAN and the rest of Asia. In terms of railway network, what we look at as an opportunity, if you look at the geographical location of Malaysia, we are the southern tip of the Asian continent. So from Malaysia, we can connect to Thailand. Once we connect to Thailand, then we can connect all the way to Laos. From Laos, we can connect to China. And this entire railway network is what we call the Pan-Asian Railway Network, and which is being pushed right now so that we can connect our railway network from Malaysia all the way to China and beyond. So once this is implemented and this is realized, trade can flow easily with railway network. And this is another alternative in terms of transportation options for exporters and importers. So what we look at is that inter-trade within the continent can be made more possible. As what we see today, in a very, very unsettling world, we need to empower ourselves. We need to encourage more cooperation within the region. ASEAN, as a region, we have about 700 million population. So this is an opportunity for us to have market access. This is an opportunity for us to grow our middle class. And what we hope that ASEAN can be an emerging market for the rest of the world. And at the same time, we want to trade more with each other. So to us, Belt and Road Initiative is an opportunity for us to uplift our infrastructure so that we can leapfrog in terms of economic development. That's what from the Malaysian perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Look. I can't agree more with this connectivity and the regional cooperation. ASEAN actually is the second largest trade partner with Hong Kong as well. And connectivity, the infrastructure development is crucial for the inter-trade development. This is very important. Thank you very much. So next we have His Excellency Dr. Ahmed El-Sayed, Minister of State for Foreign Trade Affairs of Qatar. So Dr. El-Sayed, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me to be here. It's an honor to be here again in Hong Kong. As you know, we have an important partnership with Asia country, and especially China is the biggest trading partner with more than $24 billion of the trade account, between both countries. Hong Kong as well, I'm happy to report that, from $350 million trade account, just double in 1 year to north of $700 million. I think with Hong Kong we shared a lot of similarity in a way that, there is a big potential of more partnership. We are concluded free investment protection treaties. We signed a double taxation treaties, and we are working together to initiate, different initiatives that connect, both economies, through logistic value chain, through innovation and technology initiatives, and advanced industries as well. Qatar, invested a lot in modernizing their infrastructure. We had a very new airport, one of the modern ports, Greenfield Port, which is growing year by year, the big time. A very advanced connectivity and roads and tunnels and bridges, which allow us to be positioned as one of the top advanced economy and the most attractive destination for investor. Our FDI flows increase and jump year by year to billions of dollars of investment. The government focusing on the non-oil and gas industries. We set a very ambitious plan and target for 2030, for the National Development Strategy 3, which we set a target sector, and the priority sectors comes from logistic advanced industries, innovations and technologies, food securities, and advanced chemicals and healthcare as well. We also have a law of organizing the partnership between public and the private sector that enable a lot of infrastructure project, a lot of educational projects like school, hospital, to enhance the private sector involvement in the public projects. So the Build a Road initiative, it's very important. It's provide a win-win situation to different economy. It creates growth. It facilitates product and supply chain between different nations, and that definitely an initiative that we are, interested on, and we support. Chinese companies and Hong Kong companies been involved in many projects and many public sector projects, and the private project in Qatar in terms of infrastructure and transportation and others, and they are more than welcome, and we are open to everyone. Qatar is a place to do business. It's a global place to do business for everyone to meet and conduct business, and the gate to other economies and to our region as well. So I hope and I wish all the success to this summit today. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I think it's very encouraging. Actually, I went to Qatar with our Chief Executive, Mr. John Lee, earlier this year, and it gives me a very impressive idea on the development in Qatar. So I'm seeing a very different Middle East from the time when I worked there in those days when I worked with the airline. So thank you very much. And next I would like to invite His Excellency, Chief Executive Officer of Saudi Investment Promotion Authority, Mr. Khaled Khataf. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Secretary, and good morning, everyone. I wanted to express my appreciation to the Hong Kong government and the Belt and Road Office for hosting this distinguished dialogue. Hong Kong continues to serve as a vital bridge between East and West, a role that grows even more critical as we navigate today's shifting global landscapes. I'm honored to share this panel with distinguished colleagues from Malaysia, Qatar, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan. Each of your countries bring unique perspectives on how the Belt and Road Initiative is creating new pathways for sustainable growth, and I look forward for learning from your experiences. But before we begin our discussion, allow me briefly to frame Saudi Arabia's perspective through three areas. First one, the Chinese or the China-Saudi partnership. Our partnership with China has expanded far beyond energy. Today, it spans trade, industry, logistics, and technology. What was once relationship rooted primarily in hydrocarbons is now diversified collaboration, building jobs, industries, and knowledge transfer. Second, Vision 2030 and BRI alignments. As we have each journeyed through our respective economic development plan, we have been pleased to see many alignments between Vision 2030 and Belt and Road initiatives over the years. Our cooperation demonstrates how global ambition can translate into tangible opportunities, from logistics and advanced manufacturing to digital innovation and green technologies. The recent Memorandum of Understanding signed by the Ministry of Investment of Saudi Arabia and the Road Office of Hong Kong government provides a new institutional framework to ensure this alignment delivers concrete results. Third, opportunities for co-investment. Looking ahead, we see immediate areas where collaboration can deepen in green transitions, digital infrastructure, and regional connectivity. Colleagues, this panel is not just about individual projects or transactions. It is about how we collectively build resilient supply chain, accelerate sustainable growth, and create shared prosperity during uncertain times. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. When we spoke, I told you that I worked in Saudi quite a long time ago, back to the 1984 something, work in Tehran. And last time when we went to Riyadh with the chief executive, we had a very good understanding about the development in Saudi. We went to the LEAP exhibition, and there was a very good introduction about the NEOM project. So it is very inspiring and impressive to see the visionary plan for Saudi for green economy, green finance, and all the others. So I think in later on I will ask you more questions about the development in Saudi. So next I would like to invite Mr. Yelan Sarganyev, Vice Minister of National Economy of Kazakhstan. Mr. Sarganyev, please.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear participants of the summit, first of all, I would like to express my deep gratitude to the Chinese side for the excellent organization of the 10th anniversary summit of the Belt and Road Initiative. As I have recently been appointed Vice Minister of National Economy of Kazakhstan, it is a great honor for me to speak at this distinguished international forum, which plays crucial role in the development of multilateral dialogue and strengthening of economic cooperation. It is symbolic that for the first time the Belt and Road Initiative was put forward by President of China Xi Jinping 12 years ago in the capital of Kazakhstan, Astana, thus marking the beginning of the new era of the new Silk Road. Moreover, Kazakhstan was the first to support the One Belt, One Road initiative and became one of its key partner countries and important link in its western land direction. Over the years of cooperation, 150 countries and more than 30 international organizations have joined the initiative. China's investments in countries along the way have exceeded $120 billion and trade turnover has reached around $10 trillion. Today, the economic cooperation between Kazakhstan and Hong Kong is reaching a new level, opening up wide opportunities for mutually beneficial initiative and joint projects. Despite global challenges, Kazakhstan is demonstrating steady growth. At the end of the first half of this year, economic growth reached 6.2%, including 8% in the real sector and 5.2% in services. Investments are the main factor of economic growth. In the first half of this year, investments in fixed assets increased by 90%. Kazakhstan maintains its investment-grade credit rating. This year, the rating agencies S&P and Fitch have confirmed the sovereign credit rating with a stable outlook. Transport and logistics cooperation is an integral part of the implementation of the Belt and Road Initiative. Our country is located at the point of the shortest land routes connecting Asia and Europe. The Belt and Road Initiative has led to a significant annual increase in container rail transport on the China-Europe-China corridor across Kazakhstan. For instance, in 2024, the volume of rail freight between our countries hit at historical height, exceeding 32 million tons and increasing by 22%. For the development of the trade, investment, and human exchanges, it is important for us to constantly improve existing transport links, develop new transport routes, and create the necessary logistic capacities. We are open to establishing new multimodal transport routes and transit corridors. Today we have to admit the turbulence of the global economy driven by geopolitical factors has become a new objective reality. They repeat systemic shifts that the world is experiencing amid rising protectionism and the transformation of traditional logistics routes have already led to changes in the global economic architecture. In this context, it is clear to Kazakhstan that it can only cope with new challenges through joint action that can unite our efforts in shaping sustainable development. Dear friends, concluding my speech, I want to express my gratitude to all participants of this forum for their productive work. I believe that all the countries participating in today's summit have great potential for future expanding, mutually beneficial cooperation within the framework of the Belt and Road Initiative. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Very, very impressive. And actually, we had a very good meeting with your Deputy Prime Minister of Kazakhstan in Urumqi earlier this year, and we had very good discussion. I think there are many opportunities arising from that discussion and connection via Hong Kong. So we will have further discussion later on regarding what cooperation could be there. So next I would like to invite His Excellency, the Deputy Minister of Economy and Finance of Uzbekistan, Mr. Umid Abikajev. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. Dear ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Thank you very much for inviting, and it's an exciting opportunity to be here. And talking about opportunities within uncertain times, it's very important to look at the basics. And in this aspect, there is a saying that when there is a storm, it's time to repair the nets. And in this aspect, I remember when we were visiting Yunnan province around like 2 years ago, and we were really looking into poverty reduction policies which actually gave some success. And the head of the province said, we have a proverb which says, if you want to get rich, you need to build roads. So the road is really key when it comes to connectivity, and it's an essential cornerstone of the BRI framework. And in this aspect, we're very much serious and interested in this. Even in Uzbekistan, when we developed a participatory budget system, a large amount of it goes to roads, where people go and directly vote for the road project. On another aspect, as President Mirziyoyev, His Excellency, mentioned during the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, we're very much interested in the development of the China-Kyrgyzstan-Uzbekistan railway and synchronize it with Trans-Afghan railway, which will improve the livelihoods of the people in the region and which will give another dynamic impulse to Central Asian region as well. And of course, yesterday I also learned that Hong Kong hosts 1,400 BRI businesses, and it's very important for us to get them involved and in these projects within the Central Asia. Another aspect is, of course, there is another proverb, I think it's Chinese, that one tree is blooming is not a spring. For spring, all trees need to bloom. So in this aspect, we really have a common value of shared prosperity. And it is true when it comes to green transition, we want the fruits of it to be not harsh to poverty alleviation, but actually to make a fruitful life for the majority of the people. In this aspect, we have Uzbekistan 2030 green economy strategy, where there is an aim to reach 40% of the renewable energy share in the total energy production. And in this aspect, we've created also Energy Efficiency Agency at the beginning of this year, and very much looking forward to creation of an ESCO market, energy servicing companies. And another aspect is, of course, when we looking at it from digital point of view, in the nexus with the green economy, more and more data centers, like Data Vault company and some other companies, are interested in establishing in Uzbekistan, and especially from companies with Saudi Arabia and some other partners. and they need a green certificate, so either renewable energy sources. So, and we're ready also to support with the green certification system, and which is already in place. And finally, the third one is, there is a saying that if you think about 1 year, you need to plant a rice. If you think about a century, educate. So the education is very important, and in this aspect, for the last 7 years, we increased the share of tertiary education, it means the university coverage, from 7% to 42%, and the number of universities increased from 71 to 219. And we're very much serious about high-quality education, and was really delighted to learn yesterday that Hong Kong hosts 5 of the top 100 universities, and it's a really good opportunity for exchange and elaborate. Another important aspect is in Uzbekistan, every year around 1 million babies are born, so it's a good demographic pressure. And we need more and more schools with good mindset, schools which teach you the most important values, where East meets West, where aging wisdom meets modernization. And in this aspect, we're really looking forward to capitalize and leverage Hong Kong's potential on bringing new investors, either in terms of PPP, in terms of private participation, how to build and expand school capacities as well. We're very much open. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I can't agree more with you on the education side. Actually, it's very important to nurture the younger generation in our Belt and Road countries. And in Hong Kong, we have the Belt and Road Scholarship, and we welcome students from the Belt and Road countries to further their studies in Hong Kong. And I just mentioned among the 100 top universities in the world, we've got 5 in here. So people-to-people ties is very important for cooperation and for our future. I think from the remarks from our honorable guest, a couple of things we spoke about. Connectivity is very important, green is very important, and innovation and technology, new development are all very important. So I do believe the forum may have further questions to our honorable guest regarding how we can cooperate further. So how we can deeper into embracing and emerging opportunities in times of economic uncertainty. So I would like to throw the question to our honorable guest, and may I ask Minister Look, in a landscape of global economic uncertainty, what do you see as the most promising new opportunities for growth and collaboration under the Belt and Road Initiative?
Thank you. From our experience in adopting the BRI project, as I mentioned just now, our flagship project is the East Coast Rail Link. In 2019, we renegotiated with China on how to conduct the project. And one of the key aspects is that we managed to not only relocate the scope, but also got China to operate the rail link, the rail project, upon completion of the construction. So it's not just about completing the project, but also operating the project, operating the railway network. So by having China to cooperate with Malaysia in operating the railway network, both sides have an obligation to make it work. So when you have the railway network, you have the railway track, you have the railway service, you need the cargo. Where is the cargo coming from? So what we have in terms of a strategy is to attract more investment along the railway corridor, to have more industrial parks around the railway corridor. So this is one strategy that we have adopted in Malaysia. And in the current geopolitical tensions, Malaysia and ASEAN, of course, is in a position of centrality. We do not take sides. We want to remain as a neutral zone. And this is what we are in a position to adopt what we call the China Plus One strategy. So we want to attract more factories, more investment, those who have big operations in China, because of the current tensions with the US, that you can choose Malaysia or ASEAN as the China's plus one strategy. So some of the factories can be relocated into this area and to be exported to the rest of the world or from Malaysia. So this is one opportunities that we have seen in the past few years, and we continue to see a lot of interest and investment coming into Malaysia. And of course, with the cooperation and collaboration with China, we think that this will go a long way for us to help us industrialize our products and to make sure that we have more higher value and value-added products to be exported to the rest of the world.
Thank you, Your Excellency. So there's a question I would also like to ask. With the opportunities arising, the government and private sectors may have different agenda and different priorities. So how can government and the private sector work together to unlock the enormous opportunities in infrastructure, trade and investment? So may I throw this question to Mr. Al-Khattaf?
Sure. So unlocking these opportunities requires that governments and private sector, they have to work together with a great sense and spirit of cooperation. Governments are specialized or known for creating or enabling the proper environment, enabling environment through clear regulations, streamlining procedures and incentives. And the history of Saudi Arabia in creating such processes is very solid. I can just name few of the industries that we've invested so much in, and we're still considered one of the leading economies in these industries, be it the banking, be it the pharma, be it oil and gas and what have you. And the experience of Saudi in these was very unique, where we usually take the best practices and invest in making sure that it fits our stage of development, and we keep learning from others. But then we look at the role of the private sector and making sure that they are given credit for what they are good at, which is the innovation, expertise and capital, best use of resources, and the close collaboration between the government and private sector. As long as the dialogue is open, will most of the time, if not all the time, will yield wonderful results. In Saudi Arabia, we've introduced special economic zones, PPP frameworks, advanced logistics policies, and to attract global players. And very good example is the COSCO partnerships in Jeddah, Red Sea, Gateway Terminal, where public planning and private sector operations are combined to expand regional capacity. But this is only one example. There are other examples where we are engaged with our colleagues from China in healthcare and other sectors, and we see very good tractions in terms of inviting for partnership between Saudi private sector and the Chinese and other global private sectors. And the main linking or bonding is the clear regulations and the ongoing upgrades of the requirement to make these partnerships successful. For public-private collaboration is also underpinned by the sector-specific funds, such as the Saudi Industrial Development Funds and the Tourism Fund, which help de-risk projects and crowd in private capital. So we've realized early in times that there are certain sectors that require special attention, not only by regulations, but also by making sure that proper funding and capital is available, and it's available for every investor, not only for Saudi investors. Every investor interested in joining our process of development, they're welcome, and all the incentives are also provided for them. And for the reforms, so far we have more than 400 pro-business reforms, including enabling 100% foreign ownership in Saudi Arabia. And this is across most of the sectors and streamlining investment climate. And because of this, Saudi Arabia is considered to become the world's top business reformer so far. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Dr. El Said, yesterday when we met, I understand you joined the government from the commercial sector, not long ago, right? And then I shared with you my experience because I also come from the commercial sector joining the Hong Kong government. So how you see this question, how government and private sectors can work together to unlock the opportunities?
Thank you. Actually, I came from Qatar Investment Authority, which act, like a private sector in terms of analyzing financial investment. So it's very important to unlock investment opportunities to have government and the private sector working as a partner, genuine partner here. And we applied this in Qatar. We had the PPP law, which public partnership law of 2020, and that's enabled around 5.5 billion of project in sewage, hospitals and the schools and others. And, risk is coming as well. We continue that program. That's been supported by an intensive international framework to enable, these partnerships, to enable FDI, to enable expansion of private sector globally. We have around 70 double taxation treaties, one of them, of course, with Hong Kong. We have a similar number with investment protection agreement, with around 70 countries as well. And we are starting a program of comprehensive partnership agreement and FTA, which, we continue acting through the GCC as a block for major economy and having our own program, for others. Country that is not on the top list of GCC today. However, that will enable the framework for investment and the private partnership with government. In addition, we conducting a reform for our legal system. So we are monitoring our legal system, regulatory environment. We have a single window system. We enable a lot of incentive for strategic project for private sector, which either local or international. We created a special zone, economic zone, and the free zone to host our partner, which is international or even private sector. Actually, in this zone, we are encouraging private sector to team up with foreign investor, which will result actually in transferring of knowledge, improving connectivities, and enabling, operation and the start up for the project, in more a quick way. So that's, combination of FDI and the private sector support resulting, in, enhancing the flow of the FDI and enabling that project in Qatar. So I think we are practicing and we continue evaluating to enhance this experience. And we are looking forward for more investment and welcoming from, Hong Kong and the rest of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, Mr. Abikadziev, I have a question for you. The Belt and Road Initiative emphasizes on collaborative efforts. And how do you see the principle helps embracing opportunities and fostering sustainable growth for shaping a shared future in your country?
Thank you very much. A very good question. First of all, in terms of within the BRI framework, we need to talk about connectivity. And I already mentioned Uzbekistan, actually, Central Asia is a landlocked country. So Uzbekistan being a double landlocked. So for us, making it land-linked is of crucial importance. In this aspect, for example, China-Kyrgyzstan-Uzbekistan railway, it reduces travel time to Europe to around 7-8 days. So it automatically reduces costs, it reduces transaction costs, it shortens time, and there is a wide range benefits of it. It's clear. Second is, based on this hard infrastructure, we are expanding economic ties as well. Because if you look at some numbers, the trade volume between China and Central Asia increased 7.2% last year. And for case of Uzbekistan, from 2019 to 2024, the investments increased from China to 6.8 billion across energy, transport, and other sectors. Even the number of Chinese enterprises operating in Uzbekistan, last year it was around 2,400. This year it's 3,500. So the dynamics there to continue. Because if you look at the macroeconomic situation, the average growth for the last 5 years in Uzbekistan was around 6%. Population is growing. We aim to become a 200 billion economy in 2030, and things are going forward well. And of course, third point is about green transition. In this aspect, as I mentioned, we have a green economy strategy till 2030, and one needs to mention the agreement signed in April this year with Chinese partners to increase, to realize a project of 1,500 megawatts in Uzbekistan. It's 1,000 in Karakol, Pakistan, 500 in Jizak region. This is also going to add to the increasing the capacity of renewable energies, which I mentioned already, needed for the new data centers which are coming to Uzbekistan. And of course, it has an impact on some other spillover effects when it comes to shared prosperity and poverty reduction, because when we look at it only from corporate point of view, from energy supply point of view, but traveling across China, we also learned that it can be very much helpful in terms of poverty alleviation as well, because now there are also some programs in Uzbekistan which are taking place. We're installing solar panels and people selling the electricity to the grid and earning money and making a good living out of it. In general, there are many good opportunities, and our president, Mr. Shavkat Mirziyoyev, he mentioned that in recent years, Uzbekistan is opening itself to the world and opening the world for itself. And when we are searching and we are looking for each other, I think there is a proverb in Arabic which says, "Man jadda wajada," those who are searching will find. I think we can find good partners for shared prosperity and for a bright future together. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It seems we still have time, so I will have more questions to share. So, Dr. El Said, we spoke about connectivity, infrastructure, innovation, technology, trade connection. So, may I ask, which areas do you think Hong Kong could contribute, and how could the two places or with other economies step up cooperation, collaboration for mutual benefits? Doctor?
So our trade and investment priority center in advanced logistics, strengthening our supply chain and promoting innovation. With Hong Kong, I think, has a similar priority here. You are a good gateway to the Greater Bay Area. You are a top financial destination and financial center globally. You are one of the best and top logistic hub for product and also service. You are ranking on the top of the IP, intellectual property ranking system. We enjoyed double taxation treaties, and we concluded an investment protection treaties, and we have a very good discussion for different initiatives actually that's underway, which represent an idea of dual listing between the stock exchange here and Doha Stock Exchange, cooperating logistic and technology zones and hub in Qatar, and different initiatives undergoing. So the technology and innovation also, it's very important, though this zone will focus on technology and innovations between different school and universities, and the private sector as well. So, you know, there is, you know, a big potential here. It's already, as I stated, the trade account, you know, doubled in 1 year from 23 to 24, from 350 to around 700 million US, and that's, you know, give you the signal of the trust and the confidence between the two economies. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. One last question I would like to ask His Excellency, Mr. Look. So can you share with us some of the more exciting developments that promotes regional economic cooperation, especially between ASEAN and RCEP with Hong Kong?
Well, I think one of the key projects under my portfolio is aviation as well, under the transport portfolio. What we hope to achieve in Malaysia, of course with collaboration with China, is to turn Kuala Lumpur International Airport as a cargo hub. I know that Hong Kong, of course, is an important cargo hub. What we hope to achieve in Malaysia is to make sure that the ASEAN, entire ASEAN region can be central in terms of distribution from Malaysia. What is important is that what we look at is to enable more commerce and more trade to flow, inter-region trade. And one of the key advantages that we have in Malaysia is that we have good connectivity to many second and third tier cities in Asia and in ASEAN. For e-commerce to flow, for e-commerce to happen, you need to have connectivity to the entire region. And this is where I think that ASEAN can provide a very vast market, because as I mentioned earlier, it is an emerging market with a 700 million population, and many of this population are residing not only in the capital, but in many secondary and third tier cities throughout the region, in Indonesia, in Thailand, in Laos, in Cambodia, Malaysia, so that we hope that by having more connectivity, by having better logistic solutions, we can ensure that products from any part of the region can be exported to the world. Likewise, for imports and for e-commerce to happen, connectivity is one of the key important part of it. So of course, we hope that we can have more integration between ASEAN and Hong Kong and China as well. And of course, I know that participation in RCEP is very important. We hope that this can happen soon.
Thank you very much. Touching on the e-commerce is a very big topic. I don't think we have time to go into details, but it is also about connectivity. Connectivity ex-Hong Kong is very strong. We got about 1,000 aircraft movement per day, and with 5 hours flying time, we cover half of the world's population. But time is running short. As we draw the curtains on the policy dialogue session, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed panelists from Malaysia, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan for their invaluable insights and perspectives. Your contribution have shed light on the multifaceted opportunities and challenges within the Belt and Road Initiative. And today's dialogue has underscored the importance of leveraging unique strengths to foster economic development and enhance regional connectivity. We have also emphasized the critical role of collaborative efforts in achieving sustainability, inclusivity, and shared prosperity in an era of global interdependence. So Hong Kong also remains steadfast in its commitment to multilateral collaboration. And as we move forward, the insights from today's discussion will serve as a foundation for deeper cooperation and more strategic partnerships between Hong Kong and all of you. Let us continue to work together towards a brighter and more prosperous future. Now I will pass the floor to the MC and conclude today's session. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, a big round of applause to thank Secretary Yao and all our panelists for the wonderful section. Now, I would like to invite Secretary Yao and all our panelists, please kindly stand up and take a few steps towards the front stage, closer together towards the center for a group photo to capture this insightful and inspiring moment that we had. What a policy dialogue section we had, ladies and gentlemen. This sets the stage and also the scene for our upcoming discussions in our 2-day program of this year's summit. Please look at official photographers right in front of you, our panel chair, and also our distinguished speakers. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please give our panel chair and our esteemed speakers a big round of applause. Thank you so much for sharing with us, and welcome to Hong Kong. Thank you, our panelists and panel chair. Please be seated off stage. Ladies and gentlemen, this marks the end of the policy dialogue section. We hope you find the discussion insightful. Our next section, Business Plenary 1, ASEAN Unveiling New Opportunities for Growth and Collaboration, will begin shortly. Stay tuned with us. 各位来宾，我们下一个环节主论坛1东盟发展合作新机遇很快就会开始，请大家就座。The upcoming Business Plenary 1 will be conducted in English and 普通话. Simultaneous interpretations are available. You can tune your headset to channel 1 for English and channel 2 for 普通话. If you do not have a SI headset yet, you can get one near the room entrance. 以下环节将会以英语及普通话进行。我们同声传译耳机的频道1为英语，频道2为普通话。如果阁下没有同声传译耳机，请移步到我们门口附近的服务柜台领取。If you have any questions for our speakers during conference sections, you may scan the QR code displayed later on the screen or at the back of your admission badge. Simply choose the section you are in and type your question in the box, then click the Ask button and send it out. Selected questions will be addressed at the Q&A section towards the end. Don't forget to visit our exhibition area, where you can connect with Hong Kong's world-class service providers and project owners around the globe. This year, we are proud to host over 120 exhibitors featuring dedicated pavilions such as the ASEAN Pavilion, the Mainland Pavilions, and the Innotech Zone. Our sponsors and partners in the area will be delighted to converse with you to explore potential business and investment opportunities. In addition, a selection of exhibitors will be sharing their insights and project highlights in the open stage located at Hall 5E next to the exhibition area. If you're interested in investment opportunities related to infrastructure and other developments, the project investment sections given by project owners along the Belt and Road route showcasing their project ventures will be a perfect platform for you. The sections consist of 4 major themes, namely 1. Energy, natural resources, and public utilities. 2. Transport and logistics infrastructure. 3. Innovation and technology. And 4. Urban development. This year, we will also host a section introducing the Belt and Road signature projects, along with another section dedicated to projects in the Middle East and ASEAN regions. We are pleased to share that a full program of projects is scheduled at Hall 5E in the Project Investment Room. If you're interested in discovering more, we warmly invite you to join us and explore these exciting opportunities in greater details. Ladies and gentlemen, Business Plenary 1, ASEAN, Unveiling New Opportunities for Growth and Collaboration, will now begin. Distinguished speakers, ladies, gentlemen, good morning. Welcome back to the Business Plenary 1 ASEAN Unveiling New Opportunities for Growth and Collaboration. Today, we are very pleased to have the following guest speakers to exchange views on the promising prospects from the rapidly rising ASEAN and ways to capture Belt and Road business opportunities through Hong Kong. So first, please join me in welcoming our panel chair, Dr. Victor K. Fong, GBM GPS, Chairman of Fong Investments. Welcome, Dr. Fong. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Joining Dr. Fong on stage for the discussion, we have Mr. Tony Fernandez, CEO of Capital A. Mr. Anthony Leung, Group Chairman of Nanfeng Group. And also, Ms. Zheng Qi, Vice President of Citi Group Corporation, 中国中信集团有限公司副总经理曾琦女士，欢迎我们所有的分享嘉宾。Welcome our panel chair and our esteemed speakers. Please be seated. Without further ado, I would like to officially pass the time and also the stage to our panel chair, Dr. Fong. Over to you, please.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to really extend also a warm welcome to all of you to this tremendous conference at this time of the year. This is a very good time to visit Hong Kong, and we welcome you in Hong Kong. So this is really a very important session for us now to introduce an important part of the world, the ASEAN region, and how that fits in terms of the entire Belt and Road effort. And in particular, you know, to learn a little bit more about ASEAN, how that different parts of the Belt and Road, especially China, can link with ASEAN. And then really I want to focus a little bit on the role that Hong Kong can play in linking ASEAN to the world, and especially in linking the different parts of the Belt and Road initiative to the ASEAN region and to the mainland. So without further ado, let me really move to our first panel speaker, Tony. Welcome.
Thank you.
I think you're such a tremendous entrepreneur from Southeast Asia. And ASEAN is really your home ground, and from there you've now expanded all around the world. I'd like to start off by asking you, just give your view of what you see are the important things that are happening in ASEAN. What are some of the major trends that all of us in the audience need to be aware of?
Thank you, Victor. Thank you for inviting me to the audience. I have always been a massive believer in ASEAN, and obviously I think even in Hong Kong maybe the focus was going north.
Yes.
But I think now there's a tremendous opportunity, especially with the geopolitics, to re-look at ASEAN. I took a small airline, 2 planes. We grew it to 300 planes. We started with 200,000 passengers and grew it to 90 million, really because of ASEAN. And that is probably the best advertisement that a company such as ours was able to prosper in this fantastic region. So what is ASEAN? For a start, it's 700 million people, 10 countries going to 11. It's been very stable over a long period of time, and more and more ASEAN is becoming like the European Union, where it's easier to trade, more common legislation, free trade zones, easy to move people around. And so what started, ASEAN started as a political organization for peace, to make sure that the 10 countries originally, well, the 7 countries originally, which has now gone to 11 with Timor, would have a peaceful union. But now it's grown much more into an economic union. And I see for the first time, and I've been pushing ASEAN for a long time, and I think we sometimes are our own worst enemies. But for the last 2 years, and I think this is the major trend, I'm seeing that the leaders of ASEAN really get on with each other. And I think because of the geopolitics, they see that it's important to break down these barriers that existed and allow more trade, allow more commonality. And so this is the best time to look at ASEAN. You're not looking at 11 countries, you're looking at 700 million people. That's the market. And AirAsia is a perfect example of how we've benefited from liberalization in ASEAN.
Right. Well, I think, Tony, that's a tremendous point. ASEAN is really coming together as one market. And it's a huge economy, right? It's a $4 trillion economy, 700 million people. And if I'm not mistaken, you know, there's $1 trillion of trade between ASEAN and China, and you're each other's biggest trading partners. Now, what opportunities do you see when ASEAN looks north to China itself? That must be a big growth area. How do you, I know you've been very active in China. Maybe you can talk a little bit about how ASEAN is reaching out as part of the Belt and Road Initiative. You know,
I think it would surprise many people here. I mean, I'm an ASEAN company. I'm an ASEAN airline. We're the largest foreign airline into China.
Wow.
We fly...
You're the largest foreign airline into China.
Into China.
Wow.
With 23 destinations. And then if you add in Hong Kong, you add Macau.
Yes.
That only shows our strength. And and 15% of our 90 million passengers is between China and Southeast Asia.
Okay.
ASEAN.
Okay.
And so that shows the potential. It's grown because logistics now, we're now the #1 logistics airline, and we've grown into other businesses as well. And our collaboration, we're the first airline, foreign airline, to be working with COMAG. We're in active discussions to buy the C919.
Yep.
We obviously work with many Chinese corporations. And so connectivity, and I want to add one more thing. Well, many people talk about big companies. AirAsia and airlines such as ours has provided a lot of connectivity for SMEs, small, medium enterprises.
Right.
And I think that's the engine of growth for ASEAN and also China. There's a huge opportunity there. So providing the connectivity has really enabled much more commerce, much more tourism, and obviously much more logistics going forward.
Well, you're really at the spearhead of providing that connectivity. Before I move on to the other panel members, let me ask you one final question about yourself. You know, you created a tremendous, now one of the largest airlines in the world, AirAsia. But you have now transformed that, into really what I understand is a universal app. Can you just quickly talk about that journey? Because I think that's very symbolic of some of the major moves within ASEAN towards digitalization and creating the sort of the digital economy.
Well, we were badly hit by COVID. We lost $10 billion of revenue. It was like the worst period of my life to have 300 planes on the ground. I have 22,000 staff, and we had no revenue. So adapt or die. And I think we took a lot of lessons from China and the North in the way the digital economy has transformed the way you look at it. Now, one of the great assets I had was 60 million database, 90 million customers.
Yes.
And I had really, from the very early stages, we had seen the huge opportunity in digital. And so we learned from the WeChats of the world, from the Alibabas of the world, and used our data to create 6 companies.
You use your data that you accumulated.
Yes, and we created a fintech, very similar to Alipay. We created a super app.
Yes.
Where, during COVID, we couldn't fly, so my pilots were taxi drivers. We were delivering food. We had to innovate. And so after COVID now, the airline is back, but we created 6 companies. And I think we learned a lot from China. And ASEAN has really benefited from leapfrogging. And so you come into ASEAN, one of the trends is that it's highly digitized and it's moving quicker and quicker.
Yes.
And so it's easier to do business.
Okay, wow, I think that's quite a story. And I think it's really a good example to many of us in the audience, how you as an entrepreneur have made that transformation. And really from adversity in COVID to something that is now a major new direction for your company. That's tremendous.
I think one thing for all the entrepreneurs here and all the businessmen here, the airline business is tough. And doing business is tough, full stop. But through adversity, as long as you're alive, you have a chance to bounce back. And I think the one quality God gave me is resilience. I never give up. Maybe because I came from the music industry, where we have to deal with a lot of superstars who are very difficult.
I see.
Dealing with COVID was easier than dealing with Hong Kong pop stars.
Okay. We have to tell some of our Hong Kong pop stars. Thank you, Tony. Ms. Zhang, let me turn to you now. You know, you represent CITIC, which is one of the largest companies in China, if not the largest by some measure. You know, obviously, you have a very wide range of activities. And I know that CITIC has been very active seeking opportunities in the Belt and Road. Can you really tell us a little bit about how CITIC is actually thinking about Belt and Road and how you're actually preparing the grounds for doing more in the Belt and Road whole initiative?
首先特别谢谢冯博士邀请我参加这个环节，也谢谢您的提问。中信成立于1979年，到今年已经是46年的历史。到今天为止呢，我们的总资产已经超过了12万亿。中信的最大特点呢，其实您刚才也讲到了，它不仅是个大，它最大的特点是多元化。而这种多元化呢，表现在2个方面。一方面呢，我们是金融和实业共同发展。我们的总资产当中90%是金融资产，但是我们的收入的60%和利润的大概20%都来自我们的实业。第二个呢，就是我们的多元化表现在我们金融是一个全牌照的综合服务的概念，而且我们还是国内3家拥有金控牌照的这样一个集团企业。我们的实业呢覆盖也非常的广泛，所以就像您刚才讲的中信其实一直从建立之初就是中国改革开放的窗口，所以我们的国际化道路一直是在不断的布局和发展，特别是在东盟国家。到目前为止，我们已经在东盟的9个国家的10几家子公司都有我们的具体的业务，实实在在的业务。我们的资产大概470亿，然后我们的业务的覆盖呢，应该说也是非常非常广的。首先就是我们的金融。我们的金融在新加坡，我们有一家银行；我们在新加坡、印尼、马来西亚很多的东盟国家都有我们的中信证券。那中信的金融其实和其他的地方跟其他的集团和企业比呢，我们就是刚才讲到的综合化。我们不仅仅是提供银行或者投行服务，我们更多的是用我们的全牌照提供股债代保的综合服务，根据企业的不同阶段的资金的需求，提供这样的一个综合化的方案，能够更好的支持企业的发展。第二个呢，就是刚才讲到的我们的实业。其实我们的实业在东盟的很多领域都有投入，比如说我们在印尼，我们有一家中信资源买个当地的石油，我们的中信泰富投资了当地的这个焦炭企业，就是我们很多的这种和基础设施建设有关的，我们都在做投入。第三个呢，就是我们的这个制造领域。中信有一家企业叫做中信重工，是全球最大的矿山设备和水泥设备的提供商。所以我们在东盟也参与了很多矿产业的加工制造。另外呢，我们的农业 也是因为东盟其实还是农业是一个非常好的合作伙伴关系，所以大家都知道隆平高科、中信是它的大股东，而且我们一直在用创新的方式在研究种子的不断的这个更好的去和土地啊、气候啊、土壤去结合，所以我们在东盟的很多国家，特别是在菲律宾和越南，我们都建立了当地的研发基地，并且把这个种业用在当地的这种销售和生产上面。还有就是，其实我们有2家 base 在香港的企业，一家是中信国际电讯。我们的6颗卫星是在天上的卫星，是中信的卫星。我们主要负责海外的各种节目的在中国的转播。我们是一家电讯连接商，而且澳门电讯的99%都是中信拥有的。除此之外，我们的大长航，其实香港人都是知道的。我们主要做这种进出口的食品贸易，还有我们高端的4S 店的销售。其实我们在东盟的很多国家也都有展业。另外就是基础设施建设，中信有一家企业叫做中信建设，是全球最大的承包商。我们在东盟的很多国家都有这样的大型的承包的建设项目，而且中信建设它从2方面更好的支持东盟的发展。一方面呢，就是建这种基础设施，公路、铁路去做这种硬的连接。另外呢，就是刚才我们在下面讲到的，就是基础设施赋能什么内容。所以我们中信建设在帮助东盟的各个地方在建工业园区的过程当中，不断的在打造供应链的整合，能够更好的帮助当地的发展。另外，其实我们还有一家中信环境，是做水污染和这种环保技术的这样一个企业。我们在新加坡有一家专门的研发基地，同时我们也在东盟的很多国家都在做这种水污染的处理和城市供水系统。所以中信应该说，在不仅仅助力东盟的发展，我们在东盟发展的过程当中，中信的国际化道路也在不断的在丰富、在深入。我们也非常的相信，在和各方的合作下面，其实中国企业在东盟的发展会越来越深入，而且也会得到共赢的更好的结果。
No, Ms. Zhang, that was a fascinating story. I think the unique combination of financial services and really industry, I think is something that is a real strength for CITIC. Now, among all that strength, when you look at ASEAN, which sector will you be emphasizing, you think? And I know that you mentioned agriculture. Sustainable agriculture would that be one of the main areas that you would be thinking of doing more in?
其实像刚才给您介绍的，也是给大家讲呢，中信我们是一家综合化的多元化的企业，但其实我们更是一家金融集团企业。我们也是注册在香港的这样一家金融上市企业。我们在香港的资产超过了7000亿。所以在整个支持基础设施建设的过程当中呢，中信的第一个特点就是我们的金融服务怎么能够配套。一方面呢，我觉得我们的金融设施在做当地的金融服务的过程当中呢，其实我们一直在致力怎么做更好的本土化。这里面包括对当地的东盟的各个国家的不同法律、人文、机制体制的这样一种本土的对接，更多的是我们伴随中资企业出海走出去，中信能够用我们的综合服务更好的去服务中资企业，能够和中资企业一起去助力东盟的发展，这是金融这一部分。另外，您刚才讲到的我们其他的产业，其实我们在农业领域当中也是结合东盟的很多地域特色，结合当地的气候，结合当地的人文环境去厚植我们的农业产业。所以不仅仅是把我们的产品卖到东盟，而是和东盟的很多国家一起，从研发到销售到更好的服务当地，去做一个产业链的对接。 另外就是基础设施建设上面，刚才我也讲了，我们的建设其实更关注的是在大的基础设施里边的内容是什么。所以我们比如说在缅甸做了一个产业园，我们这个产业园的建设它是一个综合化的，首先它是把我们的种子的育种、稻谷的加工，然后把这种后期的这种油的加工都把它一体化的建在这样一个园区当中。同时呢，我们也配套农业机械，配套后期的一些稻壳的发电的一些设施的建设，而且我们和政府和当地的这个农业组织还有小企业一起，把小企业的弱点通过规模化的建设，能够把它更好的整合起来。我觉得这也是我们中信在支持东盟和我们自身发展的过程当中，在更好的结合当地的一些有效的案例。
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Ms. Zhang. I think what you said about CITIC's activity really is a very good example on what large companies like yourself can really help in driving the whole Belt and Road Initiative, starting with Southeast Asia and then, really throughout the world. The idea that bringing hard infrastructure as well as what I would perceive to be soft infrastructure, like the financial services, I think is crucial. And your idea about going deep into particular industries, I think is particularly interesting. Like what you just said about how you do a vertical penetration into the agriculture. And I think that would have a very strong catalytic effect in terms of helping the economies in the region. And I really hope that CITIC will continue to be doing more and more, and leading the way in the whole Belt and Road Initiative.
谢谢冯博士，我们也希望能够和在座的更多企业和东盟的各方伙伴一起，共同的助力东盟更好的发展。
好，很多企业一定来找你。
谢谢。
Okay, Anthony, may I turn to you now? Anthony, you're well known to the Hong Kong audience, but for those of you who are not familiar with Anthony, Anthony was our former financial secretary and have led the development of Hong Kong economy for a number of years, shortly after the reunification. So I think from somebody who is so intimately familiar, and in Nan Phong now, you're very involved in the whole many aspects of the Hong Kong economy, including the real estate sector, of course. And then I know in recent years, you've made a real foray into healthcare services, especially in the Chinese mainland. So from that overall perspective, which is so broad, Anthony, I wonder if you could give us some thoughts as to, how we in Hong Kong, and including, of course, the Greater Bay Area, can act really as an important platform to think about how we can galvanize activities in the entire BRI initiative. And really thinking a little bit more for the audience about Hong Kong's role in this whole process.
Well, thank you, Victor. It's clearly a pleasure to share the panel with Tony and Ms. Zhang. If I may step back before turning to the role of Hong Kong and think about the topic of the day, and that is really embracing emerging opportunities in times of economic uncertainty. Now, if I think about the economic uncertainty, or in our words, in our companies, we say that we are in a VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. The four main factors that contribute to these uncertainties is really, number one, geopolitics. We are moving from a unipolar world to a multipolar world. And to a certain extent, because of the recent moves by the US government, it is prompting the rest of the world to rethink connectivity, meaning instead of just kind of focusing on the US and the West, we have seen ASEAN countries, as Tony said, really working closer together and also to a certain extent all these ASEAN countries and also the 150 BNR Belt and Road countries are also rethinking connectivity, which as China is the second largest economy in the world, to a certain extent it would increase connectivity between and among all these BRI countries, including China. The second factor that contributes to the uncertainties is really technological change. Particularly, we are all seeing the rise and the emerging use of AI, which can be an opportunity because it will further drive not just merchandise trade, not just services trade, but also digital trade, which is, I believe, an area that we have to focus on. The third factor is really in most countries around the world, including China, a rapidly aging population, which spells a lot of opportunity, particularly, as you said, I'm in the healthcare sector, and aging economy or aging society will lead to all kinds of opportunity in the healthcare sector. And I'll talk about slightly later the opportunities in Belt and Road countries as well. And the lastly is clearly the extreme weather. The weather changes will also spell opportunity, and it requires also all the countries in the world to focus on sustainability and in terms of financing, green finance. So these are the four factors that I believe are important to all of us. And if I may turn to the opportunities.
Now, Anthony, sorry to interrupt you there. Since you raised this point, I can't help but, really pose the question to you, and maybe other members of the panel would like to jump in also. When you look at that overall situation, and given what you mentioned about the geopolitical changes and so on, I see a major phenomenon that is happening in the world, which is medium-sized companies, especially some of the manufacturing companies in China, are really globalizing. A lot of it driven by geopolitics to find new countries of origin. A lot of it is driven by new opportunities, especially along the Belt and Road. How strong do you think this trend is going to be? And how would this trend be utilizing the Belt and Road as a connecting point to link up all the markets and opportunities to do manufacturing, starting from Southeast Asia, moving to South Asia, and then moving to the Middle East, etc. How important a role would the Belt and Road Initiative play in this whole movement of if I can call it, the rise of the middle-sized entrepreneurial companies on a global basis?
Well, I think you asked a very important question, and to a certain extent that is, in a way, the emergent trend or emerging opportunity. If we think about, say, China and Hong Kong versus the rest of the world, about 25 years ago, when you and I witnessed and actually helped in the reunification of Hong Kong to China, Hong Kong was playing a role that was very important in attracting foreign capital into China. And we were helping in various senses. But nowadays we are seeing that it's already a trend. Hong Kong is helping Chinese mainland to go outside. So we are seeing not just FDI, we are also seeing an increase in ODI. As you may know, China's ODI, kind of offshore or outbound investment, is now the number 3 country in the world. So, and specifically relating to your question, in the past we see China kind of investing outside, mainly by state-owned enterprises, mainly in the infrastructure areas. But nowadays we are seeing that there is an increasing share of ODI being done by private sector enterprise in China. And many of them are actually not in the infrastructure. I mean, obviously, we have seen exports in, say, EVs, in lithium, meaning the kind of solar and kind of clean green energy areas, in multiple manufacturing areas, and so much so that there is a term that was mentioned by one of the ministers that spoke in the morning. We are focusing on not the very large infrastructure, but 小而美, meaning small but beautiful projects around the world. And many of them are actually private sector enterprise. Many of them are actually small enterprise as well. And let me also add that the point that I talked about earlier, which is the digital trade. Now, digital trade covers a number of areas. You can cover, obviously, right now, AI. It covers e-commerce, which China, in a way, excels in this area. I believe a lot of people around the world are buying things via Tmall, via Shein, and obviously on the content side, TikTok.
Yes.
So all of these or digital trade is actually being carried out around the world. It's not just Belt and Road. It's actually global, because the world is a globalized world, despite what President Trump is thinking. So we are seeing all of these happening, and then I have to mention that in the area of technology, China is also not just importing, but also beginning to export.
Yep.
I'm seeing that because of the last 30-odd years of China opening up and reform, and a lot of Chinese students going overseas to study, a lot of them are coming back. Obviously, China is training a lot of STEM graduates as well. In the next few years, I believe that we are in the Cambrian age of technology, meaning we are going to see a lot of discoveries in various kinds of technology, from AI, manufacturing. Obviously, we are very good in the world now. Even in life sciences, I mean, Lanfeng invests so far $3 billion in biotech around the world, mainly in the US and now beginning more in China. And in healthcare, New Frontier Group, which is a group that I co-founded, now has 33 hospitals in China. We offer home care in 37 cities. Last year, we served 12 million patients. So in the life science and healthcare area, I'm seeing a lot of discoveries and inventions. For example, in the ASCO, the Summit for Oncology in Chicago in June, Chinese speakers they had 36 presentations. 10 years ago, it was none. There was a top oncology summit in the world. So we are seeing all of these technology emerging in China, and I'm seeing that all of these would be actually working very closely with the rest of the world. Also in healthcare even, we are going to promote, my group is going to promote international medical services. Because of the scale and the advancement in healthcare treatments, we hope that we can actually serve a lot of patients from the Belt and Road countries. And we are actually seeing that, because some of the treatments in China, because of the scale and because of the technology development, I must say are actually very advanced. Some of them are actually leading the world. So export of services is one. And then lastly, before I kind of pass the mic back to you, is in the financial sector, changing from Web 2 to Web 3. I mean, obviously, we have seen the U.S. promoting stablecoin. China has been promoting the central bank digital currency, but I think stablecoin is really going to be a major area. And Hong Kong plays an important role, because the mainland of China, in a way, allows Hong Kong to be the kind of, in a way, experimental site.
Yes.
And that will hopefully promote the development of financial services from Web 2 to Web 3. And Hong Kong, being a financial center, should play a major role, and I'll stop here.
Okay, we'll come to Hong Kong specifically in a moment. But since we got into this fascinating subject, I have to really reinforce what you said by saying that, you know, in a sense, if you look at the whole Belt and Road initiative from the beginning, the first wave was actually infrastructure building, and very much led by people like Ms. Deng and CITIC. In a sense, you know, a lot of the infrastructure is now built, and also now proceeding to more refined, maybe soft infrastructure. What I see is a second wave of people now using what is built on the Belt and Road enabling the globalization of SMEs and using that infrastructure and as a conduit for scientific research, movement of people, movement of technology, etc., along the Belt and Road. And that Belt and Road is almost like an invisible new web in the world that actually then would really connect a lot of the developing economies in the world and allow the opportunity to do the exchange and so on. So, Tony, what do you think from an ASEAN perspective and your global perspectives?
Well, I mean, this is my first Belt and Road conference, and I'm thrilled to be here because our next growth spurt, really, the inspiration came from this conference and came from this initiative.
Wow.
So,
thank you for that.
You know, we first of all focused on ASEAN, and then we went into China and India. And then when I read about the Belt and Road, I thought, well, here's an amazing opportunity to provide connectivity from the air, both for people and logistics. And as you've said, the hard infrastructure was built, providing some of the soft side, the connectivity, etc. So we have started that already, and it came out of here. So we started flying to Kazakhstan. There was never connectivity, both from Thailand and Malaysia. Next month, we open Uzbekistan.
Wow.
And Azerbaijan.
You're going to cover all of Central Asia.
Will come next, yeah. And Africa, I think, is a monstrous opportunity for the Belt and Road. And connectivity between Africa and ASEAN is virtually non-existent, but also between Asia. So we started flying to Kenya, and we're adding 8 more destinations to African countries. So really the inspiration for AirAsia and Teleport, our logistics company, came out of the Belt and Road Initiative. And with, you know, I've been always saying we need to look after ourselves more and not depend so much on the West. When I saw this initiative, I saw this as a wonderful opportunity to really use the infrastructure, use the communication channel, use these conferences to really provide another level of connectivity, specifically for SMEs, logistics, and for people. So we're living the dream, and it's real.
I'm so glad we brought this point out. Ms. Zhang, have you anything to add on this area? Okay, all right. Then, Anthony, the floor is yours. Hong Kong.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
Hong Kong, geographically, we're located right between the mainland of China and ASEAN. And so that specific location or the unique location, in a way, says a lot about what we can do. Obviously, with the world being linked and structured as a global economy, Hong Kong serves not only ASEAN, but the rest of the world as well, clearly including the Belt and Road. Now, Hong Kong, our unique advantage really lies in the one country, two systems, as well as our international connections. And so we must make sure that we make good use of these one country, meaning having our motherland supporting us fully, as well as enjoying the two systems. The use of common law, we have a freely convertible currency, and we still use English a lot. And that there are many roles that Hong Kong can play, but I'll focus on two. And one is we are an international financial center, and the second one, we are really a talent hub. So is 金钱跟人才. On the financial center side, I mean, needless to say, this morning we heard a lot of speakers talking about how good we are in helping to finance the flows, whether it's trade flow, services flow, or digital trade flow between the mainland of China and the rest of the BRI. And earlier on, I talked about Hong Kong should play a role in transitioning from Web 2 to Web 3. As an example, many of the audience would know, if you want to remit money, say, to Africa, it would probably take 5 to 7 days. And the banks, using SWIFT and all, would probably charge you between 5 to 8%. Whereas if you use stablecoin or eventually for the bulk trade you use central bank digital currency, the money would reach the other side in 0.1 second, or say 1 second. And it will be at less than 1% of the transaction cost. So it will really facilitate the trade. And so Hong Kong, I think, should be more aggressive in pushing the use of cryptocurrency. And on top of that, build a lot of the Web3 services from all kinds of banking, wealth management, and all. Yeah. And obviously, one of the things that Hong Kong is also very good at is the use of green financing. So I talk about climate change, and if we can somehow promote green financing, it will help the world to counter the climate change much better.
Yes.
Now, clearly, Hong Kong is the center of IPO. This year we are leading the world in terms of the amount of capital raised. And we understand that there are a few hundred companies waiting to be listed, and hopefully Tony's company can also come to Hong Kong. And clearly a warm welcome. So I think financial center is something that we are quite kind of best known at. But the other thing that is rising also is we are the center of wealth management, particularly for wealthy families. As we all know, in Asia, unlike America, most of the wealth is actually in the hands of families, not institutional funds. So Hong Kong can play a very useful role. Now, I also then changing subject to being a talent hub. Hong Kong, as the chief executive has said, has now 5 universities in the top 100. Victor, you helped me get into UGC 30-odd years ago, and now we are seeing the results.
That's real history.
And it's not just kind of developing talents for Hong Kong. As the chief executive said, we should, as we actually have done 50 years ago, Victor, we were the talent hub for the Southeast Asian students. And we are beginning to see this coming back as well. But I hope this time it's not just Southeast Asia, but from all around the world. We should be a kind of a hub to attract the best and the brightest students from all around the world, particularly the Belt and Road countries. But it's not just university level. We are attracting a lot of the best and brightest, and hopefully the wealthiest people from all around the world. Particularly, we are seeing a lot from the mainland of China. So we not just develop, but we actually get them there. And I'm a firm believer that when bright people meet, when bright minds somehow mingles with each other, there'll be new ideas, and you will create a lot of things, not just in science and technology, which obviously with the with Shenzhen and the GBA's help, working with them on the manufacturing area, we can come up with a lot of new things, but also for humanities, because I believe if good people from around the world, from different countries, different backgrounds meet, it will actually promote peace. And to that extent, I will urge the universities in Hong Kong to offer more courses relating to Belt and Road.
Right.
Because if we really have to kind of work with the Belt and Road countries, we have to have students that knows the legal system, the culture, the languages, the way of doing business in all the Belt and Road countries, not just in common law countries.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. I think that was a terrific way of laying out the new Hong Kong and how we're positioned now in this new world, especially vis-a-vis the Belt and Road. But I'd like to underscore 2 points that you made. One is the digitalization of the global supply chains. I think what Anthony has touched on is Hong Kong is really now the center for digitalizing the global supply chains and merging that with the financial sector to really work on important sectors like trade finance, which is the overlap with the two, and become a center. And once you lay that groundwork for digitalized global supply chain, there are immense possibilities for all the things that you mentioned. Sustainability, helping the SMEs, doing financing around the world, etc. So I think I'd like to underscore that point. which Hong Kong, really led by the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, is really now kind of moving very strongly in that direction. The second point I want to really highlight is Hong Kong as an education hub. Our 8 universities are really ranked increasingly high in the world. Not only are we the center for research, but I think the idea of coming to Hong Kong for an education as really a choice that would stand alongside even the current best choices, like America and England, let's say. I think we're going to be emerging. And I hope we do regain that position as really a center for education, not only for Southeast Asia, a lot of students from there, but from around the world, especially the developing economies, we would really welcome. So, but before I let you go, I'd like to ask one question, which I'm sure many people in our audience would be very interested in. If I'm from Southeast Asia, or I'm from other Belt and Road countries, what role can Hong Kong play in helping me tackle the Chinese market? That is a very important question for, I think, many members of the audience here.
Well, we focus on outbound this time, but obviously, traditionally, Hong Kong has been the hub for attracting inbound investments into the mainland of China. It's not just capital, but because still in China, while a lot of people understand English and they've studied abroad, language is a problem. But navigating the Chinese, shall I say, bureaucracy itself is both an art and a science. So Hong Kong, because we are part of China and yet we are very well connected and well versed with the rest of the world, we can help the kind of so-called foreign countries and companies to navigate the on-the-ground situation in China. Now, obviously, people can go to CITIC. But on the other hand, at least I believe Hong Kong people and businessmen had better understanding of both sides. And that really, I think, speaks a lot. And then on top of that, as I said earlier, our one country, two systems. Our currency is freely convertible. It's a very stable currency. It's pegged to the US dollar. We use common law, which is still, I believe, the preferred legal system for many international companies of trade. And then we have a wealth of talent in various fields. And Hong Kong itself is a hub that many multinational companies would like to have a look, have the base in. And that, I believe, we can help facilitate both the inbound as well as I said earlier, the outbound investments of China and the rest of the world. But maybe, Tony, you can add, because you are thinking of coming to Hong Kong.
Yes. Tony, please. The floor is yours.
Yeah, coming out of COVID, creating these 6 other companies that we built, we were actually approached by the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, which surprised me and showed the new vision of Hong Kong. They came to Malaysia, asked me for lunch, and said we would like Capital A to list in Hong Kong. It never crossed my mind. And then when I was given the picture and I saw the opportunities that Hong Kong offered in terms of connecting us to Greater China,
yes,
and new capital flows, which generally we in ASEAN had pivoted to America, etc., I thought, yeah, I want to be a pioneer in this. And my team actually was in Hong Kong yesterday, braved the typhoon to come and meet the regulators. And so we are not many months away from listing in Hong Kong. And we're very excited. The team is very excited, and I think we'll be one of the largest Southeast Asian companies to list in Hong Kong, and hopefully that will create a new form of capital for companies in ASEAN.
Yeah. Well, I think we are also eagerly awaiting your appearance in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. I think what you've touched on also is another major focus I think that Hong Kong can really play, which is to act as a financial center. Obviously the most high profile is the IPO and IPO market, And today, if I'm not mistaken, we have over 200 potential companies from all over the world ready to come into our stock market. But I do want to emphasize, Tony, that Hong Kong actually is a very vibrant international financial center. And we can offer the whole suite of financial services that large and medium and small business would need. You know, and if we digitalize the global supply chain, as I was saying, and we can really use that to come in and really be a global hub for trade finance, that would be a very interesting penetration point into a lot of potential activity with small and medium-sized enterprises as well.
Yeah, and we really have really utilized that, to be honest.
Yes.
We had a bond which we did with Ares and CIC,
okay,
which was
yes.
Out of Hong Kong. So we really do see the benefits.
Yeah. Okay. Now, if panel members don't have any more, I think it's time for me to open up to the audience. I know that staff has been gathering a lot of questions. Please bring them up to me, and if you can write it up by hand, and we would be happy, the panel would be happy to answer any questions. Now, I don't quite know how to work this machine, but it seems like that one of the questions is really to ask ourselves on the panel, do you really see the ASEAN as a growth engine for the whole region? And, you know, I think that's a very, you know, many sides to that particular question. And you had started on that issue, Tony, at the very beginning. Could you elaborate a little bit more about the role that ASEAN can play as a growth engine in the region and the growth engine for the Belt and Road, if I may add?
Well, I mean, yeah, I said at the beginning, especially with geopolitics and as Belt and Road companies look for new markets.
Yes.
ASEAN is 700 million people.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part of that 700 million, it's a young population.
Mm-hmm.
And the GDP is growing very rapidly.
Right.
And with digitalization, with harmonization of trade, I think it can be a huge growth engine for Belt and Road companies. And we see that quite openly, and conferences like this and initiatives like this facilitate more trade, facilitate more communications, and I firmly believe you can see from many investment from Chinese companies into ASEAN, whether it's Alipay, whether it's WeChat, etc. The potential and the e-commerce companies have really benefited, the Sheins, Tmos, etc. So, yes, I firmly believe ASEAN can be a great growth engine. And by the way, for everybody here, please only fly on AirAsia when you come to ASEAN. Yeah. We're very low cost and very affordable.
and plenty of flights. Tony, but if I may probe a little deeper on what you were saying, if we look at the geopolitical situation around the world now, obviously there's a rivalry between U.S. and China. And, you know, obviously Europe is also a very active player, and probably in my mind, you know, and another, in a sense, sort of mode to actually, you know, really to talk about in the world. How much do you think ASEAN can play as a role to intermediate between these different nodes, if you would, in the world?
I think that's a great question. Yeah. And I think ASEAN has really, you know, we have this policy of centrality, neutrality, and, you know, I want to push, we're having the ASEAN Leaders Conference where President of China will be there, President Trump will be there. We're holding a big investment conference in Kuala Lumpur in November. And we've really, our leader in Malaysia has maintained that we will be friends of everybody. And I think that's a great point, that ASEAN can be a bridge in some ways between the different nodes, as you call it. And we're pushing that very, very hard. I don't we don't see the necessity for having all these confrontations. And we think the world is a better place if we all, we're globalized and we all trade and we communicate more. That's a very strong feeling in ASEAN. And we continue to push that. And it's not just Malaysia, but all the countries in ASEAN feel that very strongly.
Well, I think that's a great...
我觉得是这样啊，就是我们说的是基础设施，说的是传统行业，但是就像刚才梁锦松先生讲的，“一带一路”的支持，我觉得要把中国在高科技领域当中、新能源领域当中积累的很好的经验和带到东盟去做一个结合。我觉得这是在传统行业和新的科技赋能上面，在更大的领域，其实也不仅仅是专精特新的小企业。第二个呢，就是我觉得在大企业发展的过程当中，其实在产业链结合的过程，更多的会带动中小企业的发展。就像刚才您讲到的啊，在这个过程当中，我们的产业链越结合的紧密，我们更能够发挥中小企业在创新领域当中的特色，能够更好的通过产业链的结合和当地的政策文化的结合，能够更好的助力东盟企业的发展。同时，我相信中资企业在这样的过程当中也会积累更多的经验，能够在创新的过程当中能够有更好的实践去做落地。第三个就是刚才您讲的，其实中信我们自己并不是仅仅是一个大企业，我们在服务这样的专精特新的中小企业的过程当中，其实我们做了很多的工作。现在中国的中小企业90%以上都是中信在提供服务，特别是我们base在香港，因为特别是最近一段时间，很多的企业都在香港上市，所以我们在提供融资天使然后一系列的上市服务当中呢，我们都在不断的在和香港的这个更有吸引力的市场去做结合。当然也有梁锦松先生讲的，就是我们的金融服务怎么能够更好的去做跨境的支持，怎么能够让企业降低资金的成本，怎么能够让中资企业在海外融资的过程当中能够更好的用低成本可持续的发展模式去更好的解决基础设施企业投资时间长回报率晚这样一个回报率低、回报的时间短这样一个过程。所以我想在这个过程当中呢，一方面中国的宝贵经验一直是东盟发展和展业的一个很好的结合点，同时香港也是能够提供最好的全球金融服务的一个落脚点。所以我相信在这个过程当中，中信不管是在实业的过程当中和大家一起走出去，去更好的助力东盟的发展，还是利用好香港的金融优势，更好的为不管是中资企业还是全球企业在东盟展业能够提供更好的服务和支持，也能够更好的发挥香港的金融中心的特色。
Very well said, Ms. Zhang. Just commenting on Anthony, you want to say a few words, and then maybe I'll just summarize.
Yeah, I think Tony and Ms. Zhang has said all the right points. I actually see that with the rise of China and Chinese technology, but it's also the global use of AI and the rise also of digital technology, trade and all. It would really benefit not just ASEAN, China, but it's really the rest of the world. Think about the Belt and Road countries, say in Latin America and Africa. With all these technological developments, I hope that it would not just kind of promote economic development, but also result in a more peaceful environment, one that the countries can work together. And again, back to the healthcare sector, which I'm kind of very fond of, it also help to improve the health situation of all these Belt and Road countries, thereby lengthening not just the lifespan, but also the health span. And imagine if the rest of the world can also enjoy very healthy life, very long life, and a peaceful environment, how much growth and how much kind of well-being to all the people around the world would be. So I'm very hopeful.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, panel members. I think, just to wrap up, I think we've had a wonderful discussion on so many aspects of the Belt and Road and how it links to ASEAN and the role of Hong Kong. But if I may just summarize what you guys have said in the last round here, the neutrality of ASEAN, political neutrality of ASEAN, is going to be a very important factor. In today's world, I think in the business sector, we have to admit that geopolitics is playing an increasingly larger and larger role, whether we like it or not. And it's important to have countries like in ASEAN to be able to act as a, shall we say, a middle ground, a conduit, a joiner between some of the different forces that we see. And I think it's all in a very constructive manner. I think the idea that the Belt and Road Initiative has had such a great impact, first on connectivity in a hard infrastructure sense, but then I think we're moving into a stage where we will be looking at connectivity on a soft infrastructure and people to people and small and medium-sized enterprise to small and medium-sized enterprise. And not only the big companies moving globally, but the small and medium-sized enterprises globalizing. And I think the Belt and Road will be that really tremendous system of connectivity around the world that will make a huge difference. And finally, Ms. Zhang, I really like the point you made that maybe the larger companies, like yourself, Anthony, and even our company, Lian Feng, could actually play a role in facilitating the small and medium-sized enterprises also to globalize. And I think not only are we doing that in terms of our own business, but we can help facilitate and in that sense create new business opportunities for ourselves. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, my last remaining job is to thank the panel on your behalf. Please give them a very good hand. Thank you.
This round of applause is also to thank our panel chair, Dr. Feng. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Feng and all our panelists, please kindly stand up and take a few steps forward towards